In the past decade, we have witnessed unparalleled scientific discoveries in the area of health. But no one has put together a formula that focuses directly on brain health, nerve growth factors, and optimizing your cellular energy at the same time. DNA Force is one of the most expensive formulas to produce. Some of the ingredients in DNA Force are $12,000 a kilogram. We are using the coveted, patented, only American source of PQQ, CoQ10, and more. You want the best that's out there at the lowest price anywhere? Well, we're bringing you a total win-win. The ultimate value, cutting-edge, trailblazing game changer that also supports the InfoWar. We have produced a limited run of DNA Force, and it will take up to 12 weeks to produce more once we sell out. Secure your DNA Force today at InfoWarsLife.com or call toll-free 8.
Intruder alert. Evacuate bridge. Hit 1 life support failure in 10 seconds.
If you are receiving this transmission, you are the resistance.
These people are coming for everybody!
Take off ad or take off.
It's also what happens when you listen to the radio host, Alex Jones, who claims that 9/11 and the Oklahoma City bombings were inside jobs.
And others who are kind of at the very fringe of the conspiracy movement, like Alex Jones, are being kind of incorporated into the campaign in ways or even the recent choices of campaign management.
The right-wing smear machine has gotten Alex Jonesified this election cycle, as we've been chronicling here. Jones is the conspiracy theorist and creator of the fringe website InfoWars.
Do you also know that Hillary Clinton uses a wheelchair? Her personal vehicle has had to be outfitted with a wheelchair lift because she is not a person who can actually walk. She secretly uses a wheelchair all those times you think you've seen her walking. She hasn't been walking. Did you know that?
Hillary Clinton has been on the campaign trail for 18 months. Her energy staggers me. I have a hard time keeping up with her.
The historical first in electing the first conspiracy freak president. He's not pivoting for presidential. He's pivoting to Alex Jones. He's pivoting to crazy.
Was Hillary wearing an earpiece during last night's presidential forum? That is the pilot, the captain of America's conspiracy theory mothership, Alex Jones.
You just had to keep digging, didn't you, Alex? The plan was so simple. All Hillary had to do was open a jar of pickles, and the White House would be all ours.
You're going to be part of the conspiracy now. You realize that, right?
I'm going to try to do my best.
Alex Jones is going to be all over you.
Let's see what happens.
Okay, here we go. Here it is. Woke Blitzer. Oh, no. Oh, there was
They're all in on this total conspiracy theory that literally came from InfoWars.
First of all, Hayes, I'll get you for this segment. It may take years and cost thousands of lives, but I'll get you for this.
I don't know what happens in somebody's mind or how dark their heart must be to say things like that.
The New World Order sends its regards.
Crashing through the lies and disinformation, The Alex Jones Show, because there is a war on for your mind.
And it matters because it's not just the kook fringe. It's not just the sort of remunerative conspiracy theory world of that part of the conservative media machine. It's not even just wacky people who have made their way into Republican politics at a surprising height. This is now the top of the Republican ticket.
WikiLeaks is coming up live in less than an hour. We're about to come live. Stay with us. Share this link. And, of course, tonight, we've got the Pence versus Kane live coverage at InfoWars.com/show. It's 2:04 Central. We're live in studio. Stay with us. Coverage of WikiLeaks from Germany in 55 minutes, but we're about to be live. Great to have you. Wow. Hillary, I don't know if you've seen this, told ABC News and others, she's worried the Russians bombed New York and New Jersey Saturday. This after she came out and said it wasn't a bombing, even though she called it a bombing. It seems to be some of the most unintentional comedy ever.
I'm sorry, we just lost audio, so you're going to have to stick with us for a moment.
Oh, it's all right. It's always part of the fun of the show.
Yeah, it sure is. All right, there we go.
Roger, what do you make of Hillary not saying this was terrorism, now saying it's terrorism, but saying it may be Russia? I mean, this is like ridiculous.
Yeah, the Russian thing is an absurdity, almost as absurd as the notion of the Russians hacking our election, which Obama's CIA director has said. Alex, first of all, the traffic in New York is so horrific because of the UN. It's yet another reason to get the UN out of the U.S. I had to get out of my cab and hoof it 15 blocks. But it is, and in the aftermath of the terror attack, the terror bombing in the Chelsea area, this entire city is on lockdown. Now, Hillary kind of has refused to admit that Islamic terrorism exists at all. Trump got out there immediately with a forthright statement saying a lot more than I told you so, but essentially saying this is going to continue unless America recognizes the problem and gets tough. And I think Hillary saw the strong response that got, then she's now trying to sound like Donald Trump. It's not the first time, by the way, that she has attempted to sound like Trump.
You said last week, it's Trump's to lose. He is the winner. How is the witch Hillary going to strike back?
Well, first of all, it's important, as former President Nixon coached me many times, to look at presidential elections within the context of the Electoral College rather than looking at a national poll. And Democrats and left-leaning journals like Politico have said for some time that the Democrats have an Electoral College lock. But with polls now showing Trump pulling ahead in Florida, Ohio, Nevada, Iowa, we have broken that lock, in my opinion. And we are in a situation where there are multiple possibilities under which Trump can win. He could, for example, carry Pennsylvania or Ohio. Either one of those would work in this kind of new construct that lets Donald Trump get to 270, without Virginia, which I think is the one state where he appears to be allowed.
All right, Roger Stone, stay right there. We'll be back with the former campaign manager for Donald Trump to talk about the incredible things that are happening with 48 days left. Fourth hour starts now. InfoWars.com/show for some stations that don't carry it. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm Alex Jones. We've got Owen Schroyer right here, one of our great crew members, riding shotgun with me. It is 2 o'clock and 8 minutes a.m. Central Time. It's 3:08 Eastern Time, and we're going to be live here until the WikiLeaks big press conference has come and gone. Now, through intermediaries, Julian Assange has obviously been in direct contact with Roger Stone. That's no secret. And they have been exchanging communiques over the last weekend. I also have another source that for whatever reason Julian Assange has talked to, and he's never chosen to speak with me, and basically relayed the same information. Assange has always been very judicious about how he releases things to protect the innocent. In the last 10 years, I've had a lot of questions about WikiLeaks, but I've been sold on WikiLeaks the last 5 or so, because I said the big litmus test is when Democrats get in and they do the very same stuff Bush does, will he go after them as well? And he did. And he's come out and said that even though Bush was bad, Obama is worse. And we now have new emails that have come out. Some of them are confirmed. They have admitted they're real, where you've got her chief of staff, one of Hillary's top people, saying, can we use illegal means to get rid of Assange? And other emails of her talking about using a predator drone extrajudicially to kill him. So this happens to be the 10th anniversary of WikiLeaks today. It is October 4th, 2016. I obviously was here until this afternoon doing the Daily Show, and then we had the nightly news, and some of the same elements of the crew that did the radio show / TV show for 4 hours, the nightly news, and then now, of course, this transmission are all here working hard. That's one reason it's important. We'd be able to hire 4 or 5 more crew members to run cameras and switchers and produce, because when we're covering heavy news like this election, we're doing the work of 2 different crews routinely. We're not complaining. Like I said, if 2 people want to come in, that's fine. We could probably run a basic show and just sit up here with analysis and live streams. And most of the crew volunteered to come in. A lot of other folks we decided to leave behind so they could be fresh tomorrow. But an amazing crew in there, and that's why your support of InfoWars.com and everything we do is so essential. We couldn't do it without you. And you notice we're a big part of Bill Clinton's son now coming public. And all of that unfolding because Hillary suppressed that when Bill was actually giving money to the boy and was actually giving him presents. Hillary actually came and visited with the mother and said, we'll have you arrested if you don't leave this whole thing alone. So all of that is coming out here at InfoWars.com and DrudgeReport.com as well. You notice the big news dealing with WikiLeaks. We're here covering it live and so much more. And it's your support that helps us get this information out. Now, mainstream media, they all just lockstep get together with their propaganda. They come out and spew their disinformation all loaded on teleprompters. And so they'll all just unify themselves the next 4 or 5 hours and come out with some establishment line, either ignoring WikiLeaks or spinning it. But we're going to be here live. Now, WikiLeaks, and I get why, they put out some conflicting information. First, they were going to be speaking from a balcony Wednesday. Then there were more death threats towards the Paraguayan embassy where Assange has been hiding out for 4 or 5 years. Then he announced that he was going to be doing a Skype announcement, and then announced about 24 hours ago that it would be in Germany to a press conference at a arts and news center. So that's where this is going to be happening, and they put out conflicting numbers of 3 o'clock Central or perhaps 2 o'clock Central that the press conference would start. Now it's clear it starts in approximately 47 minutes and change from now. And we have live feeds through the news sharing, news gathering feeds that we have. We have a right side feed. We also have an Associated Press feed and other feeds for backups here at InfoWars.com. So the feed you're watching when you Google WikiLeaks press conference, InfoWars.com, is the top link. So a lot is going on. Please share the links you find at InfoWars.com, both InfoWars.com/show, but also the other pages we have posted that have our YouTube feed posted, and that also have our main feed that originates out of our servers posted. Historic live coverage, WikiLeaks, and the October surprise exposing the Clintons, linked in red up on InfoWars.com. Now, that said, we're obviously going to talk about geopolitical events in this hour. We're going to look back on some of the things WikiLeaks has done the last 10 years. And then we're going to carry the introduction by Sarah Harrison, WikiLeaks journalist, that starts at 10 a.m. German time. 10:10, they have a 10-year video showing their work over 10 years. Sarah Harrison on history, propaganda attacks, and lessons learned. John Goetz, German-based journalist, investigative journalist, and others will break down a lot of key information. And then Assassinate Assange video dealing with Hillary wanting to kill Assange, and that being caught in the WikiLeaks. And we'll also look at the lawyer for Julian Assange will be speaking out about legal threats and status. Then a UN press conference video. And then Julian Assange at 11 a.m. German time, Deutsch time, founder and publisher of WikiLeaks, will speak for 10 minutes, and then there'll be questions from the press for 20 minutes. So this is going to run really until about 5 a.m. And then I am going to go ahead and consider this all just jet lag and not go to sleep. I'm going to go get my children, cook them breakfast, take them to school. Then I'm going to work out. Then I'm going to get back to work here at about 10 a.m. this morning to do it all again, because in the next 35 days, oh, sorry, that was yesterday. Feels like it was Monday. It's Tuesday. In the next 34 days, history's being made. Everything they've got is being thrown at the Patriots. We're going to have Darren McBreen pop in here in a few minutes. I'm going to have Owen take over here with his breakdown on what he sees happening, what he's predicting is coming up, and also talk to more of the crew here this morning. But I'm not tooting my horn. This shows how unified all the propaganda is. I walked into the studio about 40 minutes ago, and Rob Deuce said, Darren McBreen saw it. Brit Hume basically attacked you tonight on Fox News. When I say I like Brit Hume, this the whole tough guy, quiet man reporter act is funny. It's interesting. You know, he plays it up. He's an interesting guy to watch. He has great Q scores on TV. I think he's a talented guy. Doesn't mean he's not an establishment shill. I have seen Fox News go from being bad to absolutely horrible since they had a coup d'etat against Roger Ailes. Notice he came back because he hates Ailes, I guess. He gets up there and he says that, and we're going to play this in a little while, not yet, that Alex Jones is basically saying the next debate will already be rigged, and then they all laugh. Now, Rob Dew, I walked back in his office. He says, hey, Brit Hume, you know, attacked you or whatever. And I said, watch this. I said, don't tell me it's going to be that I said the next debate is going to be rigged and I'm crazy, and that Trump's a complainer about the debate. And he said, I don't know. Let's talk to McBreen. So I put my shirt on, put my sports jacket on, comb my hair, walk up here 5 minutes later, and I go, McBreen, what did he say? That, well, in fact, let's just cover it now, and then we'll go to Owen. And this isn't about Alex Jones. It's about that this is so rigged that my prediction wasn't hard to make. Media Matters yesterday afternoon came out and said Alex Jones is crazy. You can just Google Alex Jones, click news. And the top link is Media Matters, run by the White House, saying Alex Jones is crazy. You know, basically, Alex Jones says the debate is already rigged because Anderson Cooper is CIA. Anderson Cooper's been CIA. He admits he's CIA, not just an intern at the CIA. He's run major operations like the Arab Spring in Egypt. The guy is a total operative. It's come out. So they make a joke about that. But here's the deal. I was able to predict what happened because they literally tell the media what to do. But here's the issue. Until recently, I've not seen Fox follow the talking points of Media Matters. I mean, the same day. They're going there to get their talking orders, their walking orders, their battle plans. I witnessed it. So I said to McBreen, let me guess. He said, I'm saying the debate's staged and Donald Trump's a big wimp for also saying the last one was staged. He goes, yeah, exactly. And they're in there getting the clip right now. Again, it's not hard. They're getting direct talking points like I'm a Russian agent. Here's an example. I saw an AP article that we posted like 3 paragraphs of on InfoWars.com that the Russians have declared that they're no longer going to do this uranium exchange with weapons-grade uranium and depleted uranium with the United States because the United States is, quote, acting in bad faith. The first comment is Alex Jones is a Russian agent for running this pro-Russian propaganda. The Associated Press is out of the United States. If Russia just had a drill where 40 million people prepare for nuclear war, that's important. If Russia says that they're concerned about U.S. troops on their border, that's a concern. If our government's allied with the radical jihadis and Russia's battling them, we're on the wrong side of history, folks. I'm not a Russian agent. I'm an agent of not having a nuclear war. But all of their pre-programmed responses are so clear. So I knew Brit Hume will only attack me because he's a White House operative. When I say that, folks, he takes White House talking points out of all these ways to attack us. They load his teleprompter at Fox with that information, and he attacks us. So this illustrates how the White House now follows the talking points, and so does Hillary, of the Jesuit Pope. Word for word, global government, carbon taxes. We should arrest conspiracy theorist media. They're terrorists. It's illegal. Let's shut down the free press. That's the communist Chinese president, the Pope, the Saudi Arabians, our own government, because our government works for these foreign multinationals. We've been hijacked by a global consortium. The New York Times, the Washington Post, all of them, the Financial Times of London, they admit. First, I want to go to Owen on this subject, and then what you think is going to be coming out tonight, what you predict. It better be bombshell, because they've certainly whet our appetite here. And with 34 days left, we need to expose Hillary big time. And I've got my fingers crossed. Wild horses couldn't drag me away. You can cut the knife, and then we're going to get into this Brit Hume situation, not because they're attacking yours truly, but because it's illustrative of how rigged this whole thing is. We're going to turn your mic on in a moment. Again, we're live here. This stuff happens. Go ahead, you're on air.
It'll be interesting to see what the response is, because with a lot of these WikiLeaks, it's nothing that really shocks us. It's nothing that you couldn't have already seen or predicted. So the question is, and this is what Assange said in interviews that he did, will the Republic respond to this? Will people actually care? Will it dominate the news headlines, or will they try to spin something off tomorrow? Will there be, you know, a white cop that shoots a black guy, so they want to run that story all day long? Will there be a distraction piece on this tomorrow? Let's see what the reaction is from the American citizens and from the world. I mean, the world is watching this. You just talked about how they whet our appetite, Alex. Everybody's tuning into this. Everybody wants to see what the big leak is. They're expecting that, you know, Assange saying this is bombshell is going to be significant.
I tune into Fox News just to analyze it, and I'm seeing the fall of Fox News as just a marvel. I'm not happy it's falling. I don't see it as competition falling. I see something that was corrupt now becoming pure evil, and I'm watching it this morning, and they've got Bill Hemmer, who's being somewhat fair to Trump. They've got the Republican woman on there. They've got Bill Hemmer, and they've got the other Democrat woman who's openly a Democrat on, and they are basically all attacking Trump. He's attacking Trump half the time. She's attacking Trump 90% of the time, the so-called Republican, and the Democrat is attacking him 100% of the time. And the reason I illustrate that is they had a coup 2 months ago at Fox, and now they're trying to go after the rest of the media, and they just handed the media over to the internet over to the UN. So again, such a historic time to be alive, but to know the attacks a day before. I mean, Media Matters puts out the attacks on Trump, myself, Matt Drudge, and David Brock, you know, this reported money launderer. And then boom, in less than 24 hours, word for word, it comes out of the mouth of Brit Hume. I mean, word for word, they're loading what David Brock writes into the mouths of Megyn Kelly and into the mouth of Brit Hume. And the viewers of Fox News, if you're a younger viewer that watches our show, you got to reach out to your parents. You got to explain to them that, hey, in between the catheter ads and the rest of it on Fox News is major globalist propaganda to put pressure on Fox to back them off. We need their expunging of conservatism and nationalism and patriotism off Fox, which was never perfect. They've always done bad stuff, but they're 10 times worse now. We need to have an exodus now from Fox News to actually force them to go back, because this is a major litmus test, folks. Everybody's next. Everybody's next. Make no mistake, they admit this plan.
Well, think about this, and I think that what you're talking about alludes just to the times we're dealing with. All right, so we've got 34 days till the election. We've got, what, about 30 minutes till the big WikiLeaks drop. But, Alex, I don't know if you would agree with this. I think that we could even be in store for crazier times after the election.
Oh, I totally agree.
If Trump gets in, they might try to collapse the economy. They might try to...
They're already collapsing, Deutsche Bank.
World war on Trump, you know.
The new 2007 crisis is here, brother. We said 6 months ago, Deutsche Bank. New York Times Saturday said global meltdown over this.
So then it's like, we're going to have to be going live at 2 a.m. every night. The crew back there is probably hating me for saying that. But it's like, I mean, are we going to have food crises in America like we've seen in Venezuela? People eating raw chicken off of livestock trucks? I mean, because if Trump gets in and if he's not the greatest actor of all time, then if Trump gets in, I mean, he's really going to stir the pot up.
Well, listen, he can flip a few switches. He can flip a few switches and turn our economy back on, because under globalism, deals were made to sell us out to other nations for them to come under the global system. It's a fact. That's why they're so mad, saying he'll unravel 60 years of work thank God, building this horrible world government that's designed to make us poor. That's why it's a no-brainer. He flips a couple switches, people, that are constitutional. It'll be like untying a boat from a dock where the engine's going, but you're not pulling out because you're tied up to chains. He's going to unchain us. Now, he may run the boat into a wall or, you know, into the, you know, the dock, but he's going to get the boat out of the dock.
And he doesn't want to carry on the establishment central bank power structure. I mean, that's what everything has been pushing for, that you could blame a lot of the stuff we see in the Middle East on this. It's been carried out by president after president after president. I do not think that is Donald Trump's agenda. I really do not believe that. Like you said, I'm not sure what his agenda might be. Who knows how much he knows about what he's getting into here.
He knows.
But we know what he's not, and he's not a corrupt politician.
Well, I know this exactly. He's got the communist Chinese, the Pope, the murdering Saudi Arabian leadership, every other evil organization flipping out because they've all got a global crime syndicate deal. They're all milking humanity. They're all combined. Now, getting back to Brett Hume, I'm going to go to Darren McBreen on this because he's the guy that caught it and pointed it out. I'm not tooting my horn. This was not a hard prediction. Where Do goes, Brett Hume attacked you, made fun of you. I don't know what it is. Talk to McBreen. I said, I know what it is. With total confidence now. I do this all the time. 99% of the time I'm accurate. In fact, I have to like not rely on the fact that I understand how they operate and still behave like I'm not sure of things, okay? But it's like I'm living in a world that I have eyes, the rest of the public's blind. I mean, it's so frustrating. And I said, he's going to follow Media Matters. He's going to, you know, say that I'm just out of the blue claiming the debate's rigged. And they don't point out that the debate commission came out and said, okay, his mic was turned off to the entire audience. They couldn't hear him. They couldn't clap for him. That's how they cheated. Oh, guess what? Totally turned off for the duration where they could not hear him. Now that's admitted. Google debate commission admits he's right. It was mainstream news. Nobody picked it up. Then 40 plus times he's interrupted to Hillary 6. Rigged. Everybody knew that Lester Holt was the third debater. Okay, Washington Post. It turns out Donald Trump was right about his defective microphone. Vindication? Then they go on to make jokes about it. The point is, this thing is rigged like in Gladiator, where they stab him in the heart first before he goes out. But you know what? He still kicks the ass of the guy that stabbed him in the heart. I'm here to tell you, even if Trump loses, you steal the election. You people are done. We forced you out in the open to steal it. Hillary can hardly stand up, no matter what drugs you put her on. We're going to beat you, and we don't care what you say or what you do to us.
Yeah, Lester Holt was totally in the tank for Hillary Clinton. Not only could the crowd not hear him, but what happens when the crowd cheers for Donald Trump? Lester Holt interrupts to admonish the crowd. You know what? I wish they would have started throwing rotten tomatoes at Lester Dolt. I mean, who? And now we've got Anderson Cooper. What is Anderson Cooper going to be like? I'm sure he'll be fair and balanced. Yeah.
By the way,
Anderson Cooper.
The nomenclature he uses, where they send him, he would follow the State Department script for overthrowing Middle Eastern countries perfectly. The guy executes everything he does, and he's a simpering little weasel. He was admittedly CIA, and they make fun of me for saying this when it's a fact. I mean, they are so upset that I know everything about them. I mean, you know, of course I do. I've studied this. I've lived it. And I had family who was, you know, in command bases in Guatemala being blown up when they were 5 years old like Buckley. You know, I mean, believe me, I know all about it up one side and down the other. And I sit here and I watch these traitors that think this country's here to just be pissed on all day. I see you. I know who you are, Cooper. Let's bring in McBreen. McBreen, wow, thanks for catching this clip. We've got the clip coming up in a minute. Again, it's illustrative of how rigged it is. Brett Hume is a mouthpiece of David Brock now. This is incredible, Darren.
Well, it was stereotypical propaganda piece. And, you know, what's funny, before this clip, before they played the clip and they did this hit piece, they actually, am I on? All right.
I was just checking to see if we got the clip. Sorry.
All right. They actually played a piece of Saturday Night Live making fun of the debate, right? Alec Baldwin plays Donald Trump. So they
put you in a fun mode psychologically in your brain.
That's exactly
to make it a
right.
joke.
That's exactly right.
I don't even know they did that, but of course they did. Yeah. Psych warfare, everything's funny first. Put you in entertainment mode so you're not in serious, analyzing, cunning mode, and then hit you with a disinfo. Sorry.
Well, and it got everybody into kind of a fun mood, and that was kind of the whole theme. As,
they lubed you. They lubed you before they raped you.
Exactly. So then what's funny is you're going to see they're going to start out with how it used to be a conspiracy when George Bush wore, when he had a wire on back in.
Because he did.
Yes. And then they follow it up with Brit Hume, and you just have to watch it and see for yourself. It's entertaining.
I want to go to the clip in a moment, but first, Aaron, I'm always interrupting you, and you're always so polite. Finish your points about what do you predict's coming? What do you think's going to unfold? How big is this going to be in 30 minutes?
Well, the thing, a lot of people have a kind of a conflicting view of Julian Assange because we cherish our privacy, right? And we don't want anybody going through our emails. But see, it's not about that. Julian Assange, WikiLeaks, they don't attack individuals. They're going after corrupt governments. And not just the United States. They're going over after corrupt governments worldwide. However, the biggest opposition, and he's stated this again and again, is always the Obama administration. Obama has prosecuted and attempted to prosecute more journalists and their sources than all presidents combined, all previous presidents combined. And he's doing this under the Espionage Act, so basically abusing his right as president to go after
he's saying
attack the First Amendment.
Are spies that expose the globalists that have hijacked the country. Oh, we've heard that narrative before, that we're all Russian agents, Darren.
That's right. And the thing that worries me, though, is just how obviously the media is going to respond to this, try to dilute it as much as they can. But I just worry about a lot of the Hillary supporters that are already out there because, I mean, she gets away with everything. Is this going to be worse than Benghazi? I mean, is this going to be worse than her deleted emails? Will this be worse than how she badgers women and goes after the women that were abused by her husband? I mean, how bad can it get? You know, so I'm really excited to see what's they're about to announce.
Well, let me make some predictions. I think it's going to be more emails confirming that we already have one with one of her top people saying, hey, we need illegal means. And then the reported new email that we haven't confirmed yet saying use a drone. I mean, I think it's going to be confirmed that she's been plotting to kill Assange. I think also, because we already know some of the intel, it's going to be directly proving in Benghazi that she ordered in emails the shipments of weapons out of Syria or out of Libya into Syria. And I think it's going to be Hillary directing the media word for word what to say. I'm going to go back to McBreen in a moment because I don't want him to leave. It's going to be the media being directed on what to say and what to do, right down to talking points. It's going to be David Brock type stuff, directing Lester Holt type stuff, directing Megyn Kelly. It's going to be the actual directions. Also, it's going to be other arms shipments into other areas of the Middle East. It's going to be the EU officials with NATO and the UN being directed by the State Department to prepare the collapse of the border of Europe from Macedonia to Turkey and to bring in the Arab Spring. Because here's the deal. We already have a bunch of hacked emails from Soros and others to Hillary's people. So it's going to be the other side of that, but more detail and a lot more. But I believe this is going to be half of what he's got, and that he'll announce even more is coming out before the election. Just watching how Assange does things. McBreen, what do you think?
Well, he's pretty much stated that as well. He said he's got a treasure trove of information that he's going to release bits at a time. But that's a lot in the next 30 days. You know, so we're going to probably see once a week something like this. But I think the big one's tonight.
Let me ask you this, both of you. I mean, are you edge of your seat or what? I was so hyped today and had so much energy, I could hardly finish my words. I was stumbling over my next word, something I've never really done. Sometimes I get excited and talk fast, but this is just an incredible time. And I don't want to say it's a guilt, it's responsibility, where I jumped out of bed at 1 a.m. after sleeping 3 hours. I just feel so good, not even proud of myself, but just my cells, or I guess my soul is like, yes, work more, work 20 hours a day. Do everything. I've never felt so good working this hard. I mean, this is history, and the answer is everybody's got to work hard to educate and inform and to take action, because even if they steal this election from Trump, and I think he's going to win, if he loses, they've stolen it. The evidence all shows that. We're winning by exposing globalism, the New World Order, crony capitalism, the mainstream media. They've all really been decimated by this. There's not going to be any rebuilding this now. So either way we win, we have devastated them. That's one question. How do you feel? And the second question, the war preparations with Russia and the escalation of crises what could Hillary's October surprise be, or the globalists, people that control her, what could they pull to try to derail this?
Well, there's not another inch left on my seat, and it's been that way for a long time now with everything that's going on. And like I said, even after the 34 days that's left and we have the election, we'll see what happens. Even after that, I think that it just gets more interesting. But as far as what I think will be leaked, you know, I'm hoping, Alex, that it goes beyond what you talked about, because we already know that information, and I feel like the same paradigm we're seeing with Trump supporters.
Sure, but it validates it.
Well, and I feel like the same paradigm we're seeing with Trump supporters, you know, I'm guilty of this as well. I mean, I'm willing to forgive Donald Trump for things that are not perfect in his past. Obviously, it's nothing near, in my opinion, compared to what Hillary has done. But even if this is vindicative of everything we've said, even if it ties her into Fast and Furious, Benghazi, whatever else, whatever other corruption, Haiti with the Clinton Foundation, I still don't think that her supporters are going to turn away. I still don't think that her supporters are going to be effective. They're going to look at this. They're going to say, oh, that's just more right-wing conspiracies. Just like you were saying, if Hillary Clinton wins this debate, I think it's unarguable that it was completely rigged, okay? Who else do you need to talk to than the people who have been on the ground?
Hillary Clinton's a horrible speaker.
People.
She sucks. Everywhere we go, we show new photos a day across the country. No one shows up to the rallies. Like 20, 30, 50 people. I mean, my God, ladies and gentlemen, anywhere Trump goes, it's 5, 10, 20, 30, 40,000. Anywhere I go, if I announce 500
Colorado
people,
today.
1,000 show up.
Twice in Colorado, Trump probably had 20,000 people or more at his
And then we
event.
showed the photos today. She had like 25 people.
I don't understand how that's possible, because I just saw the new polls and she's leading.
Right.
What? It's like the Twilight Zone.
Isn't it crazy though? Is this our moment? Is this the time for truth to win out?
Well, I mean, that's what's happening. Look, people that are going to be delusional are going into deeper delusion. People that are going to wake up are getting more discerning, more awake. Because, look, we can't hardly find Hillary supporters in the most liberal areas of Austin. Okay, in other parts of the country, it's non-existent. Millie Weaver went in Cleveland to the main Democratic headquarters, and they said, yeah, no one we know likes her, even Democrats. We don't like her, basically, is what they said. They were totally demoralized, totally freaked out. You turn on Fox News, it's like CNN 6 months ago. CNN's like MSNBC 6 months ago, and MSNBC is completely weaponized. But here's the thing. I saw multiple Fox shows. We played a clip during the show this morning, where they would say, you know, Hillary only stumbled, she didn't fall. They're going back now doing cover for her with Republican guests saying Trump's really screwing up. By the way, oh, Hillary, it didn't hurt her, you know, that bad. I mean, she didn't fall down or anything. It's like, whoa, you people like are really advertising yourselves in the new future to be government shills. I mean, this is embarrassing. So when I see a Hillary supporter go, oh, whatever, I don't care what she did in Haiti, I'm sad for this country that Democrats, who used to be pretty good people when Bush was doing bad stuff, had a conscience. I mean, taking 94+% of all the money from Haitian kids, man, I'm a God-fearing person. That freaks me out. When I think about Hillary stealing 90+% of the money from the Haitian kids and keeping it for her horrible self, that freaks me out, man. That really gets to me. Darren McBrain?
Well, and she did that as head of the State Department. Can you imagine what she will do as president?
Oh, my God.
You know, I mean, it's just anything
scary. Goes. Well, that's it. That's why I'm so freaked out. It's beyond fear. It's beyond resistance. It's just my whole body is on fire going, resist, do something. Oh, my God, the peril. I realize this country probably isn't going to make it if she gets elected. I think that's really it. My gut tells me, barring a miracle, we're done if Hillary gets in. It's going to be a hard row with Trump. They're going to throw everything they got at him, but it shows we made the right decision. A vote against the media, a vote against the globalists, a vote against the communist Chinese. But if we don't get Trump in, I believe we go under judgment. Owen?
And Hillary's arrogance, to me, is one of the most dangerous things, where if you look at everything Obama's done in the last 8 years, she'll get in and she'll say, well, I can do more than that.
It's a pissing contest with Russia day one.
Completely bring America to its knees. But you know what? I just want to say, I thought that Trump's impression of Hillary falling down was hilarious, even though a lot of people probably thought it was, you know, politically incorrect. I thought that was funny. But, you know, have you ever seen in your life, and I think this shows how desperate they are, like you were talking about, and have you ever seen in your life CNN so pathetic? Have you ever seen CNN or MSNBC just 24/7. It's not even news anymore. CNN is 100% Trump bashing all day long.
And they have almost no viewers now. Their lowest show has like 30,000. Their biggest show like 300,000. They're over. This tonight will conservatively probably have 1 million viewers live by the time it totals up on YouTube tomorrow. Just watch. I mean, Paul Watson has a video, the average one's like 5 million. We have now it's like 20 million views a week just on videos. Their answer, though, is censor us. See, I mean, we're bigger than CNN. They know it. And they're just draining themselves in an attempt to prop the facade up. Again, resistance is victory. Darren McBreen.
Well, I want to flash back to, it was a couple of years ago when WikiLeaks released some emails that proved the contacts that exist between the State Department and the motion picture industry. And we're talking Sony Pictures, the CEO, Michael Linton.
Oh, yeah,
Sony
you
Pictures.
turn on movies, it's all globalist propaganda, but now it's Chinese propaganda in the movies.
Well, but it just laid it out. Michael Linton gets invited to the White House. He hangs out with Michelle Obama, Barack Obama. They have dinner, cocktails, and it says, we need your help to, quote, control the narrative. And that goes from ISIS to Russia and everything, all across the board. And so these guys are working together to basically, this is a massive propaganda campaign against the American people.
Absolutely. And, it goes to this point that Owen keeps making. We have all the facts already in WikiLeaks, but if more info gets released that's even more dramatic, will the public even care? Because what we've already been shown and given is bombshell, and so the bar gets higher and higher, where a lot of folks have said if she's caught barbecuing babies on the White House lawn, her constituents won't care. I mean, is there no end to this? Because here's the deal. Some Americans may be delusional and going along with this. The mainstream media may be. But all over the world, people are really freaked out. I mean, 40 million Russians did a nuclear war drill today. We're not doing that. They're moving nuclear missiles up to the Russian border. Our government is aiding al-Qaeda and ISIS in attacks on Russian forces. Things are escalating very, very quickly.
Well, and these nuclear missiles, they're calling them anti-missile defense weapons, but the Russians aren't stupid. They can convert these almost overnight into ballistic missiles, short-range ballistic missiles. Well, I mean, Russia is completely surrounded right now, and they're not too happy about it. They're not afraid to go to war.
Well, I mean, the globalists have already said we will preemptively attack Russia. That's been the doctrine since Bush was in. Yep. And they're moving proxy forces in and overthrowing elected governments. I mean, this is bipartisan lunacy.
And Hillary has the same neocons that have her back, the same military-industrial complex. That's why it's so important. Trump is anti-establishment.
That's right. We have got 19 or 18 minutes now until the WikiLeaks press conference from Germany begins. Now, he is staying, Julian Assange is staying at a South American embassy where he's been for almost 5 years. He's Skyping into Germany to this big community arts theater. The facility, we can show folks images of it in a little while, looks like classical architecture, like the Jefferson Memorial or something. So it's a big facility. A lot of media is going to be there. We've got multiple media feeds, Right Side News, Associated Press, and others. Be sure and support Right Side News, folks. They're all listener supported. So when you go to their website, be sure and make a donation. And speaking of us, we're listener supported in that most of our support is from products we sell directly to the public. I couldn't fund this operation with regular sponsorship. And I was a show bringing in about the 9th most profitable show in the country about 5 years ago, and it wasn't enough, okay? So I said, I'm going to go to direct sales of the very best products there are. It took me years to be able to develop and find the very best products, from nutraceuticals to made in America clothing. We also have made overseas if that's what you choose to get it cheaper, to so many other great products at InfoWarsStore.com. Solar-powered and crank shortwave and emergency radios, lowest prices, highest quality. Deep Cleanse, Anthroplex, Super Male Vitality, Knockout Sleep Aid, Bone and Joint Support. We're going to have to change the name. That's not a fancy enough name. People that have had bone and joint problems say this is the best formula ever. Yes, it is a total game changer. Very inexpensive. We have the Liver Cleanse. We have the new Biome Defense joint formula that's available at InfoWarsLife.com. InfoWarsLife.com is the subsection of InfoWarsStore.com, where the vitamins, where the minerals, where the supplements, where the true nutraceuticals like DNA Force are available. And when you buy a Hillary for President shirt, and when you buy a Bill Clinton rape shirt, you're helping fund the $100,000 contest we have for $5,000 each person that legally in a public space gets on national television with the shirt and exposes the cover-up of Bill Clinton's sex crimes. Hillary for Prison version 3 is going to end with this election 34 days from now, and I will not have any more Hillary for Prison shirts. We started the meme. It's been a huge issue in the country. Other people copy it. That's great. I don't care. It will continue on with others that make it. But if you want the original InfoWars limited edition Hillary for Prison shirt, it's available exclusively at InfoWarsStore.com, where you can call 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, ask any questions, ask about specials. And that's 888-253-3139, 888-253-3139. We have Molon Labe shirts, Made in America, Come and Take It shirts. The Texas version, the Greek version. We've got ball caps. We've got Make America Free Again, Donald Trump Made in America style hats. We have you get all 3 hats together for a discounted price. We're going to Make America Great Again for $14.95. The hat cost me like $10, folks. Made in America. We've got the original Hillary Joker shirt that's about to be history as well. We've got the camo Make America Great shirt. Again, men and women's Molon Labe, Live Free or Die.InfoWarsStore.com or call toll-free 888-253-3139. And also, 20 people can watch the nightly news on the same $5.95 a month membership, prisonplanet.tv, InfoWarsNews.com. That's how, and look, I know you say, well, why should I get a $5.95 a month membership at prisonplanet.tv to see the shows first, see it in HD, see all your films? You put it all out for free. Exactly. You're helping us, exactly, fund the operation so you get it first originally, but so you have the good feeling and also the insurance of knowing that we're completely out of our minds when it comes to being fearless. We're on target. We're hitting pay dirt, wounding the globalist dragon every day. You're funding us to get it out to everyone. That's the whole point. We're doing this together. Now, in a moment, we can show them getting ready. Let's put on screen our live feed of WikiLeaks press conference. We've got a bunch of different networks. Right Side Broadcasting Network, we can put that up. We have the AP feed as well. You can see our 2 feeds. Let's put that up full. Oh, I guess Right Side's actually carrying our broadcast. Oh, well, that's great. Well, thank you, Right Side. Yeah, it's absolutely important. In fact, let's pull up their website. Let's go to the bottom of Right Side there on YouTube. Let's click on the More About Right Side, and let's put out their actual URL for TV and radio listeners. Right Side Broadcasting, and the URL, folks, is there on YouTube. But let's find the link, because I want this link. I'm going to donate $10,000. I've already promised to do it. I'm going to do it. I'm going to donate $10,000 tomorrow to Right Side. It costs them hundreds of thousands a week to have reporters all over the country. Private gentleman has invested his own money they didn't even have to try to get Donald Trump elected. And it's the American dream. In the last 6 months, Right Side's gone to hundreds of millions of views and reached so many people when mainstream media cuts away and won't show the big crowds or won't show what he fully had to say at Detroit or Austin or wherever. Right Side's there. And so we're teamed up with Right Side. What's their URL? I'm going to put it out. Again, I want to get their URL because I'm teleprompter free, and so my memory isn't perfect. RSBN.TV, RSBN.TV. Go there, make a donation right now. Let's put Right Side Broadcasting back up on screen, kind of in a box as we await. Let's put the live feed back up right now. But a lot of great patriots. They're doing their own radio shows now, their own TV shows. They're piggybacking on the Trump movement. Beautiful. And again, people say, why do you have all your competition on? When they're not my competition. They want to arrest us. They want to shut us down. We have the memos where Hillary tells the Democratic donors, Breitbart and other alt media doesn't have a right to exist. I come on air and say, they're going after Drudge, everybody. And then the next week she comes out and says, yes, Alex Jones, you are dark heart. I'm coming after you.
Now Fox, too.
Now Fox, they're doing it. So Brit Hume and all these cowards have decided to just follow White House talking points. Not me. Never. I will live on my feet, not on my knees as a slave. So let's go to the Right Side feed. We've got Right Side is ready. And again, that's blurred because they've also got us on screen. Let's minimize it and show their dual feed if we can. But Right Side Broadcasting is picking up our feed. We're very, very appreciative of them doing that as well. Amazing patriots. And again, they've got a bunch of different feeds. You'll have millions of views from Right Side and InfoWars tomorrow. And that just shows we're the true independent media. we're up in the middle of the night while Fox tapes its shows and CNN tapes its shows at like 10 at night that air overnight. We're here giving you real live coverage. And again, I wouldn't care if they were telling the truth at CNN or Fox or MSNBC. They're not. So I've got to work today. No exaggeration. I'm working 20 hours because even when I was home with my kids for a couple hours and cooking them dinner and, you know, really focusing on them, the phone was ringing, calls were happening. And I wouldn't do that normally as a father. I was taking my son hunting tomorrow. It was set up a month ago, but I'm not doing it now because we're in a battle for the Republic. He doesn't have a future if I don't go all out. And believe me, if we don't fight harder now in the info war, it's going to get, you think this is bad? This is nothing. Churchill had a famous saying, I'll paraphrase, that many people get run over by the truth in life, but just get up and dust themselves off and ignore it. But he said there may come a time, you know, when you had a chance to fight and would have won easily against the tyranny, but you didn't. And then another time comes where there would have been a fight, but you still probably could have won, but you didn't do anything because, you know, you were being too lazy. And then another time comes where you have a very little chance of winning, but you still have to fight because being a total slave is worse than that. And then there's another final option where you don't have any hope of winning, but just your own soul says you got to stand up and do this because the enemy's going to kill you. So you might as well just fight back as they kill you. And folks, we're kind of in the middle of that paradigm right now. And you are going to decide that a very race, color, and creed who breathes air on this terra firma and who loves liberty and loves God and loves justice and senses and sees the great evil that is rising. So Darren McBreen's here. Pop in. We've got, of course, Mr. Schroyer here. We've got, of course, Mr. Dew in there. Anybody else that wants to pop in or make any comments in the 10 minutes before this press conference begins. Again, we're on Right Side Broadcasting on YouTube and, of course, on the Alex Jones channel on YouTube and the Right Side website as well, who is totally listener-supported. Go make donations there right now and buy the products at InfoWarsStore.com because we don't have George Soros funding us like Media Matters. We don't have General Electric that's tax-exempt and Google and Facebook that are tax-exempt working for Hillary, working for Obama. We're funded by you buying Hillary for President shirts, you getting our great biome defense, the very best, 7 years in the making, probiotic. We're funded by your support. InfoWarsStore.com and, of course, InfoWars.com is the main news website. But we're going to have total coverage here of the 2-hour press conference with limited comments while they're setting up slideshows, videos, while they're pausing with brief analysis of this. Will there be some big news story today to try to divert attention from this? You bet the media will take some crisis, won't let it go to waste. But again, we'll also create a URL to put on screen if we can for Right Side Broadcasting for the TV viewers of the Alex Jones Show and radio listeners. I'm told some of our affiliates, even though I just thought of this today in the last hour of the show, are also tuning into this and carrying the audio across the United States as well. But definitely check it all out at Right Side Broadcasting and, of course, Infowars.com/show. Take those feeds from Infowars.com/show and the front page of Infowars.com, and you really are the participants in the arena, not just spectators. You take the feeds at Infowars.com/show or Right Side Broadcasting on YouTube. You take those video feeds, our feed, their feed, our backup feed that we have to pay for. That's why we use YouTube. Sometimes I pay like a $100,000 bill when 5 million people tune in. You know, it's expensive when millions and millions tune in for a 3 or 4 hour show. That's why we also augment and use YouTube. People say, well, if YouTube censors so much, why are you using them? We piggyback, we partner where we can. We hope they don't censor, but more and more of it happens. You're watching live coverage at 2:52 a.m. Central Standard Time, 3:52 Eastern, of the Wikileaks Clinton October surprise that kicks off in about 7 minutes. So Darren McBreen, let's get to this Brett Hume video. Again, if you're a new viewer that just tuned in, I walked in tonight, the show's media control. They said, Brett Hume attacked you tonight. And I said, what was it about? I don't know. McBreen's grabbing the clip. He saw it, our reporter. I said, watch. It's going to be Media Matters, openly run by the White House, and the reported money launderer over there that runs it, David Brock, saying that I claim the next debate is going to be staged and it's all a big joke. And he said, how did you know that? And I said, because Media Matters said it, and Fox News now follows their every word. They only attack me when they're told. They don't trust these reporters to attack you when they feel like it with all the other stuff they can do. They only attack when WikiLeaks, not WikiLeaks, that's our Patriot movement, when the globalists put out the talking point at Media Matters. And that's on screen. Alex Jones says next debate is rigged since moderator Anderson Cooper is admittedly CIA. Then they admit he's CIA, but they don't admit that Trump was right. They turned his mic off to the crowd, were fading it up and down, and Lester Holt 40-something times attacked him, only 6 times Hillary. It was rigged. So let's play this clip before we go to the live WikiLeaks feed. Here it is.
George W. Bush had debated Democratic nominee John Kerry. A blurry photo of Mr. Bush taken from behind ignited claims he'd been wearing a wire during the debate. Mr. Bush's tailor said it was a pucker in his coat, and Secret Service sources told the Hill newspaper that it was a strap holding a bulletproof vest in place.
Maybe, okay.
But the conspiracy theories, never quite went away. Now, as we reported last week, they are back again, this time about Hillary Clinton at the debate, and our report last week did not succeed in dampening them. On the latest theories, here's Fox News Chief Washington Correspondent James Rosen. James?
I go, what is Lester Holt doing? Something's wrong with his earpiece.
With only days to go until the second Trump-Clinton debate, many remain focused on the first one, with fresh allegations of conspiracy sprouting like weeds. Alex Jones of InfoWars.com zeroed in on moderator Lester Holt of NBC News.
Back this up 30 seconds. He's saying, say that again, say that again. It is an earpiece, not a lav.
Say it again.
It is an earpiece. They can
The
replace
debate
it.
commission said no earpieces. He's clearly getting orders when he attacks Trump later. And then they put the earpiece back in, they clip it back on his collar and put it back on. These people think we're such morons.
In fact, the Commission on Presidential Debates published no rule forbidding the moderator from using an earpiece.
The news said they did.
One that forbade anyone to speak to Holt through that
called
earpiece.
water wet,
who was
Alex.
not Marty Slutsky, the Commission's executive producer since 2000.
Notice the light inside her podium there.
Still, other theories have focused on the podium used by Democratic nominee Hillary Clinton, with some pointing to what seemed like an inordinate amount of attention paid to it in the minutes preceding the main event, and others suggesting Clinton benefited from a built-in teleprompter, sending her talking points in real time, complete with a controller of some kind.
Look at Hillary's podium. There's a light that is turned on right now. And there...
She was definitely given hand signals to Holt. I mean, he definitely interrupted over and over again.
She's scrolling on the podium.
If the Clinton campaign had decided they wanted to put some sort of secret mechanics into the podium, it would have been a really foolish route to take because people would have found out and it would have made Hillary look
Not
terrible.
if the system's working with her, but I'm not even saying that.
People would have found out.
Look, they create these straw man attacks. We're about to go live to WikiLeaks. It's about 5 minutes away.
Tell them, and they think
Yeah, I'm
there's
sure
some sort of
Betsy
secret
Woodruff would report on it.
Late today, we heard from Frank Fahrenkopf Jr., one of the co-chairs of the Commission on Presidential Debates, who told us each podium was outfitted with a light, as well as note paper and a pen, standard issue for each nominee. But, Britt, no teleprompters. In full disclosure, I just used one to deliver that tag.
And I have an earpiece.
Me as well.
So do I.
Well, there you go. So we're part of the conspiracy.
Now he does the Media Matters.
Let me ask you about another theory that arose, which is that we noted last week that a man we discovered was Brady Williamson, longtime Democratic aide, worked on many campaigns, working on the Hillary campaign.
Dated all the way back to the 80s.
Back to 1984, in my memory. Came out and he picked up notes that were on Hillary Clinton's lectern, which she was entitled to write during the debate. There he is. There you see him there, and he picked up her notes, and later
it was alleged that he then handed them off to Lester Holt, which was proof of some nefarious conspiracy. But so there he is. That's Brady Williamson, the longtime Democratic operative, taking Hillary Clinton's notes after the debate has ended. And the allegation was that he was then handing them off to Lester Holt. If you look at the video, and we all have the same video from the switched pool feed, there is no evidence of any handoff to Lester Holt.
You see their paths cross on the debate stage, right? But you don't see a handoff.
No. And even if what was he handing off? The notes that had from the debate that had just concluded? Why would Lester Holt want those?
I think the theory was that she had the questions in advance, furnished by NBC.
That was reported, yeah.
And that they
what was that?
And that he came up and picked the questions
the
up.
Incriminating marginalia.
And you see him walk back and pass Lester Holt, and that he then gave them back to Lester Holt, you see, returning them to NBC that he'd given them to them. The video shows them cross, But as you point out, James, it does not show a handoff.
It's a marvelous theory. There's no evidence for it. I have been tough in other forums on Lester Holt for his performance in this debate, but there's no evidence he was part of anything sinister.
All right, that's it. That's a total straw man. We're about to go to the press conference. It's about to begin here on Right Side News, InfoWars.com. We have joint feeds, InfoWars.com/show. Please spread to everybody you know so they can then see the feeds in the morning. It'll be archived. They're asleep, and they'll have a first look at what happened. They take what other people randomly say on the internet, mix it with what we said, and then say that we're lying, saying everything's staged. This is their talking point. The Debate Commission admits they cut his mic off the whole time to the crowd so they couldn't hear him, so he wouldn't get applause, and they were fading it up and down on air. We said it that night, his mic's lower. They admit it. They admit it happened. They admit he had 40-plus interruptions. Hillary had 6. That's rigged, and they want to make jokes out of it. Ladies and gentlemen, let's go to Right Side News. Let's go to InfoWars.com and our feeds. They're still carrying our feed. We're still waiting. As you can see, I've instructed the crew. As soon as the press conference starts, they will interrupt me and go to it. They are about to begin. The lady is sitting there on the stage waiting. Let's go ahead and take a break and just put full screen the press conference in Germany with Julian Assange from the Ecuadorian embassy. Let's go ahead and put that full screen and just go to that with some background noise like C-SPAN does as we wait to hear the introduction of this live feed. WikiLeaks 10-year anniversary press conference. We've got Owen Schroyer. We've got Darren McBreen here. We are watching. You've got some German mineral water sitting out for the 3 journalists that are come out. You've got this going on at a community arts theater center in Germany. And they're already saying this is German agents or something because it's in Germany. I'm not kidding. They claim, well, he's a Russian agent, no connection to Russia. They've never just disputed any of these emails, though.
Hey, Alex.
Exposing Hillary, working with the terrorist.
So they'll make claims like that with absolutely no evidence, but we just saw them play that video. Britt Hume says there was no evidence of a handoff.
They handed off.
They just played the video.
And I never even said that. And it's like there's more weird crap going on.
It's like if I play a video of a football game and it's raining and I say, hey, it's raining. And they say, well, there's no evidence it's raining.
It'd be like Super Bowl sudden death overtime. Somebody throws a 30-yard Hail Mary pass and they say, oh, the linebacker did a face mask. There's no video of the linebacker even touching him. The person catches it in the end zone, and they say, forget it. You're not going to get the touchdown. And they say, we're conspiracy theorists.
There's no
And then they do it over and over again. He interrupted them 40-plus times. Lester Holt was a joke. Rob, do you want to pop in?
Yeah, and that little shifty fellow who grabs the notes, I mean, he's looking. He's like, hey, can I come this way? Should I? He looks guilty. He's walking around.
What do I do with this?
Sure.
There's no evidence.
Nobody walks around on a stage like that. When you're on a stage, you're going to get something, and you're moving off. You're not hanging out going. Well,
what do you make of them following this talking point that I'm saying the debates are rigged that the White House put out yesterday? In less than 5 hours, Britt Hume is out there following with a whole scripted report.
Well, that's how they can go, look, it's totally ridiculous. There's nothing going on, and that's all they have to say in their minds. That even though people are pointing out stuff
Hume, though, where they don't get to do their own reports unless it's on a thing that doesn't matter. If it's on puppy dogs or, travel, it's fine. You can actually go in the media and do your own reports if that's the case. But if it's on politics, you get a script handed down to you.
Not at InfoWars.
Imagine how pissed they are that are there any teleprompters around here?
No, and in fact, they won't even let me write down a cue card or anything. Some of the great people down here, they say, nope, that's not how we do it. You got to come on and let your soul and your spirit speak. I still can't believe this. And we've seen this before on mainstream news. They're going to present you the evidence. They're going to show you it. And then they're going to say we have no evidence.
It doesn't exist. It doesn't exist.
That's right. Let's put WikiLeaks back up. While we're speaking, leave that on screen. We'll talk over it. We got a lady opening the mineral water here at the 10th anniversary. We got play-by-play. We have a German journalist. I think she's the lead.
They literally spared no expense on this production here, Alex.
Now, by the way, if you're a new listener or a new viewer watching us at InfoWars.com/show, spread that link. We're getting ahead of the mainstream media tomorrow. When they have all their spin and talking points, we'll have the biggest nuggets pulled out of this for you at InfoWars.com. /show.
You're not hanging out going,
Well, what do you make of them following this talking point that I'm saying the debates are rigged that the White House put out yesterday? In less than 5 hours, Britt Hume is out there following with a whole... Okay, you guys somehow are doing a loop from the last hour.
Right Side's feeding us our audio. We're going to switch to the AP feed real quick.
Okay, that's fine. That's fine. All right, we're switching to the AP feed right now. Right Side's doing a great job. And then we are going to continue here. Let me break down for you as this press conference, this legendary, historic press conference by the very brave hero Julian Assange is about to begin. They're going to go for 15 minutes until he speaks. Then he's going to do a press conference for 30 minutes. We're going to basically carry this unfettered at InfoWars.com/show with limited comment, or if any shenanigans break out. And then we are going to have comment after the press conference, which will be over at about 4:40. They're a little bit behind starting. So I would guess about 4:40 it's going to end. We'll do 20 minutes of analysis and commentary after, longer if you guys want, but I'm going to let you guys sit here and basically steal my thunder. Well, I might stay, but regardless, it's not that I don't want to be here. It's just that this is just too epic, and I've got to, you know, like a lot of horses will run themselves to death if they have heart attacks. I'm kind of like that. I'll go 40, 50 hours in a row when stuff like this is happening, and I was thinking about going home at like 5 and getting 1 hour sleep before the kids get up, but that probably would make me more tired. I'll probably just go all the way. I'm going to go all the way to 3 p.m. Today when a weekday InfoWars Live ends, and then I'll do that. Here we have
Alex,
the AP
you got to get ready for that 52 hours we're going to do over election coverage. So we got to.
And by the way, you guys got to come back tomorrow night.
Exactly.
You guys are going to be covering the nightly news, 3 hours of live coverage of the debate,
possibly longer,
pre,
on, it's going to be
during, and post.
That's right.
So I think this is the first time we've done 2 live events like this in one day. So this should be. There's another epic day.
You know, I wonder if they'll pull something like jamming his Skype and communications, which they admit they're using the NSA against him, so that Assange can't even communicate to this event, because he's already supposed to be there. They're now 5 minutes late, exactly 5 minutes as we speak, T-5 mark right now, late even starting. I mean, don't think they won't pull scams, folks.
Well, and think of the significance of this. Hillary Clinton is so desperate to keep this information away from the public that she's even talking about drone striking Julian Assange.
There'd be no evidence of collusion, though, Darren. No evidence.
Well, and the Washington Examiner even collaborated on that. They're saying that the State Department was involved in discussions on what non-legal methods are available to get them.
Sorry, here we go. Somebody's talking. Go ahead.
Just begin anyway. I won't waste any more of your time. Thank you very much for coming. It is the anniversary of 10 years of Wikileaks starting today. And this is the first showing of a video that we have for this.
Okay, so they're going to go to introduction by Sarah Harrison. That's her. And that feed has paused. That's why we have multiple services, multiple feeds, because all sorts of shenanigans get pulled. Let's go back to right side. And again, if our feed's cut out, you can go to right side specifically. That's why we're not in competition here. We're all about 21st century media.
Totally ridiculous. There's nothing going on.
Yeah, let's go ahead and fade it up with our audio, see what happens here.
Even though people are pointing out stuff left
though, where they don't get to do their own reports unless it's on a thing that doesn't matter. It's on puppy dogs or, you know, travel, it's fine. You can actually go in the media and do your own reports if that's the case. The right side's delayed a few minutes. Or at least it's delayed by the time it gets to us.
I wonder if it'll kick off their feed, too, at the same time.
Well, listen, they've told Russia, if you cyber hack us, or we think you do, we'll physically attack you with cruise missiles. That was a month ago. Again, people say I'm a Russian agent. No, I don't want nuclear war, man. I got 3 kids. I mean, this is crazy beyond the Cuban Missile Crisis. And if they're involved in cyber attacks against Russia, vice versa, I predicted today, I said, will we see cyber attacks on this press conference? Will they have all sorts of problems? Darren McBreen, what do you think?
Well, remember, Assange came this close to canceling this event because of threats.
They've got the feedback up. Let's go back to the Associated Press. That's the State Department making fun of people saying we lie. Here it is. Let's go back to it.
A decade ago, we knew a lot less about the world's powerful leaders and institutions. We knew only what they wanted us to know.
Don't worry, be happy. Don't worry, be happy.
Don't worry, be happy.
Don't worry, be happy.
Don't worry, be happy. Don't worry, be happy. Don't worry, be happy. Don't worry, be happy.
We didn't know how casually they broke the law or
I've got to say, Assange and his crew are definitely patriots. They're real liberals. You're seeing real liberals in action here. By liberals, Thomas Jefferson was a liberal. It means more freedom, telling the truth, being honorable. These are real liberals. And that's why you hear Obama and Hillary saying they're totally evil and the worst people in the world must be shut down. It's why you heard Assange saying Hillary wants to put the free press's neck in a noose.
Wikileaks. I think the man is a high-tech terrorist.
Julian Assange founded Wikileaks.
And again, I'm going to choose on the InfoWars feed whether I'm going to talk over it or not. Anybody's welcome to go to the right side feed or other feeds. It's just that when they have these hammered videos that obviously their technical skills aren't that great, where you can't really get the audio, I'm going to give commentary over it. About half of the next 2 hours is going to be their videos. And obviously whoever's got this feed, I guess this is AP, doesn't have it wired in properly, probably on purpose. We've seen all sorts of stuff by them, quite frankly. No, I know it's right side, but it's probably subscribed off AP. I'm not complaining. Like, look, we're looking at Germany right now at 3 o'clock Central in the morning. So this is great technology. I'm not bitching. It's just that, you know what, let's give the viewers just 10 minutes or so watching this video. Here it is.
Or to rename a hunger strike as voluntary fasting. 500,000 documents make up the Iraq and Afghanistan war logs, the most detailed description of war to have ever been published. Each attack and death is listed, including 15,000 kills that had been kept secret from the public. When European oil company Trafigura dumped illegal toxic chemicals in the Ivory Coast, it convinced a British court to gag the BBC and The Guardian. WikiLeaks published the gag documents breaking the censorship ban. In 2010, WikiLeaks revealed how a US Apache helicopter killed 18 people, including 2 journalists and people in a van driving children to school. What shocked the world was the video game commentary of soldiers eager to kill.
Look at that, right through the windshield. Oh yeah, look at those dead bastards.
The children from the van were severely injured in the attack. Their father and the other adults in the van were killed.
The United States strongly condemns the illegal disclosure of classified information.
Later that year, WikiLeaks released over 250,000 secret US diplomatic cables about every country in the world. Cablegate exposed wrongdoing on every continent. WikiLeaks exposed the largest international agreements that the world has ever seen. The 3 big T's, which are being negotiated in secret. The 3 big T's are big businesses' new strategy to bypass the World Trade Organization and ensure that they get to set the international rules of what other countries can and cannot do.
Today, WikiLeaks begins its release of emails documenting the private lives and private lies of private spies.
WikiLeaks revealed the inner workings of private intelligence company Stratfor that provides advice to US government agencies, arms companies, and Dow Chemical, who hired Stratfor to spy on the victims of the largest chemical disaster in history caused by their plant in Bhopal, India. With the 2.3 million emails published in the Syria files, including the emails of its head of state Bashar al-Assad, WikiLeaks revealed the true nature of the Syrian elite. The Syria files also shed light on how Western companies profited from Syria by breaching sanctions. WikiLeaks revealed the US National Security Agency spying on world leaders, including Chancellor Angela Merkel of Germany and the UN Secretary General Ban Ki-moon, the last 3 French presidents, and President Berlusconi of Italy. Finally, coming in at number 10 are the emails of the US Democratic National Committee, which showed how the DNC undemocratically and illicitly stacked the deck against Bernie Sanders. As a result of those leaks, the DNC's 5 top heads rolled. For the 10 million documents published and the 10 million more to come, let us all wish WikiLeaks a happy 10th birthday. To help WikiLeaks publish the next 10 million documents, go to wikileaks.org/donate.
Yeah, I suppose when you put it all like that, it's no wonder I feel a bit tired today. So yeah, 10 years. This day, 10 years ago, the domain wikileaks.org was registered. Since then, we've published over 10 million documents. That's over 10 billion words. That's more secret documents than the rest of the world's media combined. Sorry to everyone in the room. They cover information about every country on the world, and we've partnered to bring these revelations out with over 100 media organizations over the decades that we have been around so far. We're going to be celebrating over the next 10 weeks with new events being announced all the time, quite a number of supporter of activities that people can get involved in. We have promotions on our book, the WikiLeaks files. This is the hardback copy, but the paperback is about to be launched. So yeah, there's a lot going out over these next 10 weeks on the sort of supporter community side. We actually have some quotes coming in, some happy birthday quotes. There's one that came in just this morning from Chomsky, which you might be interested in. He says, on our birthday, WikiLeaks has provided a unique and quite outstanding service to people of the world, bringing to them information that they should and deserve to have, and that has been illegitimately concealed by systems of power. So it all began 10 years ago with the concept of an online Dropbox that Julian Assange devised. This concept, we're very proud to say, has now become a lot more normalized and has spawned and is a number of media rooms around the world. The concept here was that there was a system that was possible to be built, that he did build successfully, that people could submit documents online. That means they could upload them and get them directly to a media organization anonymously. We are now on our second generation submission system. We relaunched it just over a year ago. It has become clear, as I'm sure all of you are aware,
folks, we are carrying
surveillance capabilities.
the live feed.
We started understanding in quite a lot of detail.
We are carrying the live feed of WikiLeaks. This is going to go on for a good 40 minutes until Julian Assange comes on, but we're going to carry it with limited interruption. You're watching InfoWars.com. It is 3:15 Central Standard Time, Central, Eastern 4:15. This press conference is going to go well past probably 5 a.m. Central, 6 a.m. Eastern. We're going to be here during the Assange event, during the press conference. He's going to join from the Ecuadorian embassy coming up in about 30 minutes via Skype, and then he's going to talk for 10 minutes, then take 30 minutes of questions. We're going to be here carrying it live, InfoWars.com/show to send out those feeds. Again, this is multiple feeds that we've subscribed to by different services. They're just kind of shooting the room in general. There'll obviously be HD versions of what WikiLeaks is putting out, these very informative videos in the future. I'm going to go back to Sarah Harrison here to finish up her statements before we have John Goetz, German-based investigative journalist, and a bunch of others about to come on stage. They're running about 6 minutes behind, so there'll probably be pauses while they, again, they're great at hacking, great at information. They don't do TV every day, so it's a little bit low-tech, almost like Access TV. That's fine. Makes it more quaint. Let's go back to her, and then we'll be back during the next exchange. It's WikiLeaks 10 years later, and supposedly the damning information's coming out with Assange in about 30 minutes. It's InfoWars.com. Teamed up with Right Side News. Support us all and stay with us.
What happened with the Guantanamo files, we've noticed actually happens in quite a lot of areas, but when we start publishing, the impact that we go for, that we promise our sources, is very successful, and other sources of other information relating to that topic understand the expertise that we have in the area, that we've generated the media partners ready to work on those topics, and often a submission and a publication on one specific topic will net more on the same topic. So after we began in 2007 on Guantanamo, documents about Guantanamo Bay, we actually just continued to get more, and we've been publishing up until 2011. We still had some more on Guantanamo Bay. There's a number of these. We will be looking at every week over the 10-week period at different topics, themes, or countries, and these stats and information will be coming out. Some other examples of some early on documents, there's a couple of interesting ones. German media, Focus magazine. Back at the 11th of August 2008, we released the missing pages of the Schaefer report into the illegal spying by German intelligence on the German press. The 2006 report compiled by a former federal judge, investigated spying on journalists by Germany's BND, the secret intelligence service here, which is forbidden under German law.
Again, you're watching continued live coverage by InfoWars.com and the great folks at Right Side News. We'll put their URL on screen for folks to support them. Their listeners supported. And we're going to go right back to this. We're going to be here for another couple hours. Assange is supposedly going to be here in about 30 minutes. But it's very important to understand WikiLeaks is doing a great job here, showing their history of exposing war, being bipartisan in what they expose. They're not just going after the Clintons and Obama for no reason. In their own words, they're many times worse than Bush. And they're very liberal. It's why they have such credibility. And so we're about to switch back to that feed and her. But do you have a comment, McBreen? I see her there waiting. And then we've got Mr. Schroyer here.
Well, I just want to point out how incredibly brave this is for Julian Assange. Can you imagine if someone went up to you and you lived in the 30s and somebody said, hey, Al Capone knows you're about to release some information. You better be careful. But he's going to go ahead and do it anyway. I mean, Hillary Clinton.
No more second guessing. He's been doing this for 10 years, bipartisanly. The guy is a freaking hero.
But he knows Hillary Clinton has stated that she wishes she could drone strike him. And when she first said that in the State Department, reportedly everybody in the room kind of giggled. They thought she was joking.
And now it's in the WikiLeaks.
But she kept pursuing it, Alex. She kept talking about it. She says, look, he's an easy target. He walks around all the time. We know where he's at. And then everybody turned around and said, oh, my God, she is absolutely serious about this.
That's the info we're about to get. People risking their lives. People have died. D.C. staffers that leaked info have died. Yep. Owen?
Well, could she get away with it? I mean, is that even possible? Everybody knows.
I think you should say she killed him, and liberals would love it.
Everybody knows Hillary Clinton's past, Bill Clinton's past, the long list. I've kind of said this tongue-in-cheek, but, I mean, it's sadly kind of a real deal. I mean, you know, Trump wants to build the wall on the southern border. We could probably build it with the dead bodies behind Bill and Hillary Clinton. But, I mean, I don't think Hillary could get away with that. I would say, I don't know how you guys feel, but I feel like Assange getting more information out there, getting more in the public eye is probably the safest thing for him to do right now.
Absolutely.
That's the thing. They've not even, I've been told, compromised and told him to back off and they'll drop charges. But I've heard there were some deals behind the scenes. Notice the European court went ahead with more charges. So they've given him no choice. They just want to kill him. The guy's a hero. Let's go back to the live feed from Germany. Again, Assange coming up in about 20, 30 minutes. It's live, InfoWars.com coverage.
A lot which was shown through these documents. We also released just the year before that in 2007, the Stasi files showing that the Stasi was still in charge of these Stasi archives. Then we moved through.
So she's showing the credibility, their whole history, what they've done, how great they are, how amazing they've stood up to evil.
Started getting a large
very heroic.
Document sets that were large archives. We began quite
and this helped trigger Snowden.
I joined the
which is a great
organization
thing.
just after that, and I was part of one of the first of these large archives, the Afghan war logs, that we put out in 2010. That was over 90,000 reports from the war in Afghanistan, from the U.S. troops on the ground there. This was the first time that a media organization was publishing such a large set of documents in this way. It was the first for us at that time, but has a trend that has just continued and has grown. A few months after that, we published similar reports from Iraq, 40,000. These showing, for example, one such revelation from these reports was that the U.S. government would not be reporting a number of instances of torture abuse claims that were received. And then later that year, 250,000 cables. These were diplomatic documents from the U.S. State Department, and we began in 2010 with publishing 250,000 cables. This was a publication that ended up with 100 media partners. We were publishing for several months. This produced amazing results all around the world. A couple that show the impact. For example, the cables have been cited by Tunisian academics for having contributed significantly to the revolution in Tunisia. They also were one of the main bases for immunity being withdrawn. In Iraq, the Prime Minister at the time explained that this was a reason, the information in the cables, for them taking away immunity for US troops. And there's an interesting case which really showed us and started to develop our publishing model that we have been finessing over the last several years. And what we realized with Cablegate was that actually if one is just working with media, and as much as that does help on an impact side initially, there is a huge impact for archives. The very nature of them, of people being able to explore full archives and see trends in documents, is not only allows for more stories and information to get out that wouldn't otherwise be
crowdsource the public digging through to the media's work. The blogs publish what's really going on. The lazy media people, dinosaur media, then may write about it because we did the work for them.
That's like how there's this new phenomenon where people are reading the comments and not actually reading the news.
Yeah, the average article has more reading and comments than in the top. They want to hear what people have to say. They want to be with people. They want to, exactly. Well, and what's the media do? Oh, this is popular. Oh, we don't control it. Get rid of comments everywhere.
Tortured, and then after several months after they discovered that actually they had the wrong person, he just happened to have the same name, the CIA just sort of dumped him out on the road, and he had terrible trouble trying to get a court case up. The US just said he had no standing, there was no documentation about the secret rendition, etc., etc.
Remember the time the CIA dumped me on the road?
In the end, although partners did not pick up those cables to publish them initially, when we put out the entire set of Cablegate unredacted, he was able to go through, him and his legal team, they found the documents that were actually able to get them, and they were able to use them in the ECCHR case that he took that was eventually successful. And this really started to show us the value of publishing these full archives, not just searchable, but the full archives, so that the public can interact with them. And this is something that we've kept on with doing, and you will know a number of our more recent releases, the DNC emails, Hillary emails, etc.
And again, the sync is off from Germany. That's not us. That's on all the feeds we have. They're running it through some archaic system, but hey, it's great. It's magic to be able to see it in Germany live. This is a big deal. You're watching live coverage of the WikiLeaks press conference. This woman supposedly was only going to go until 10:15. She is going, or no, 10:30. So she should be off in about 5 minutes. She is Sarah Harrison doing a great job. Then a bunch of investigative journalists are going to come in. Then there's Assassinated Assange video at 10:40. They're about 6 minutes behind, so that's 10:46. Then they've got other folks coming in, and then Julian Assange comes in about 20 minutes from now. So let's continue with this coverage.
Even at the time, we were literally publishing the deaths at their hands of tens of thousands of people, and somehow this was turned around that because we explained to the world that the US were knowingly doing this, we somehow had blood on our hands, which of course is not true at all. And what was interesting with this story that still is occasionally repeated, although predominantly people have come to understand that it is just based on a bunch of lies, was that actually this point was...
All right, to be clear, we're working with different feeds from Germany. One of the feeds is cutting out. One of the feeds, audio is off. The other has degraded video, but it's okay. The right side feed has better audio, so let's go to the right side feed right now. It's about 45 seconds behind. Here it is.
What's another good one we've had recently? Oh yeah, the Turkish one. Oh, this was funny. Yeah, so then there was a big hoopla online because apparently we published some data on Turkish women and everybody was getting very upset and it was personal, etc., etc. The most amazing lack of fact-checking here. What was being referred to was not even anything that we'd published. And in fact, the person that did publish it actually stated that it wasn't.
That's right. All leaks are now WikiLeaks.
They had now removed it after this.
This is how dumb the public is, and I'm talking about mainstream media.
We'll just ignore the tweet. We'll just ignore people explaining they published it. No. We'll attribute it completely falsely to WikiLeaks and try and get up this spin. So for us, these sorts of attacks are quite interesting. It's interesting to see the type of reaction and spin one gets. As I say, these are always, we've seen the trend, it is a reaction from an organization or entity that we are publishing about. they are bringing it up in defense. And so it is actually interesting for us generally to see the types of attacks, the type of spin and propaganda that is tried to be worked up, because this actually tells us even more about the organization, interestingly enough, that we were revealing about in the first place. So
again, you're watching rsbn.tv, rsbn.tv, simulcasting with InfoWars.com, right side broadcasting, rsbn.tv from the United States, and InfoWars.com from the United States. Live WikiLeaks coverage, uninterrupted by commercials, but we are announcing to the huge audience online knows exactly what you're watching. Julian Assange is scheduled to be coming up in about 20 minutes. I'm Alex Jones.
Or 10 billion, depending on if you prefer words or documents, that many times that we have been proven correct on this. And so we will keep publishing. It has been 10 years and 10 million documents so far, and there are a lot more coming. We've got Julian will be speaking a bit more about that in a second. But right now, we're just going to hear from one of our media partners briefly. The other one was due to be joining us, John Getz. Sadly, he's been held up. Oh, no, he's here. Just at the last minute. Grand entrance, hey, John. I know your game. Stefania and John, if you'd like to come and join me. So John Getz is a German journalist here, and Stefania has come from Italy, and they're just going to say a few words about working with WikiLeaks as media partners.
Okay. Okay, can you hear me? Okay, good. So, good morning. I'm here not because I have special wisdom. I'm a journalist like you. I just want to share my experience of 10 years of WikiLeaks. I spent the last 7 years partnering with WikiLeaks, working on all their releases, from the Afghan war logs to the latest releases. So I have quite a lot of experience. And
can you say your name, please? And your
Sorry, Stefania Marizzi, and it'll also be on the slide at the end, and it should be in, if you've got one of these packs, it should be there. But Stefania,
yeah, yes. I'm working.
But yeah, it'll be on the slide at the end, Stefania Marizzi.
I'm working for the Italian news magazine L'Espresso and the Italian daily La Repubblica. So basically, it all started in 2007 when one of my high-value sources was basically destroyed, had very serious consequences, just for contacting me. Just for trying to contact
Roger Stone was hacked, his bank accounts hacked, everything, within a day of talking to Assange. I mean, they've got everything Assange does is watched so closely. So now, when we get info from the Secret Service or anybody, they fly here. We have to meet in parking garages. Just like Drudge said, you got to meet in a parking garage.
So I have
no, I mean, this is what it comes down to.
Cryptography.
And we're like on air going, hey, the Secret Service says she's having epileptic seizures and falling down. This really, and then a few weeks later, she falls down.
And then they show the tape of her falling down saying, there's no evidence.
Well, they show her wobble, but then not her fall down. And then say, they're lying. She can climb Mount Everest.
There's no evidence that there was a guy that took a folder and then handed it to Lester Holt, and then they show you the video. See, no evidence.
Here, let's go back to this lady from Italy.
Their work, how they were publishing things, how they were basically operating, and I got very interested in their methods, in their approach to journalism, because it was a good approach, a different, very different
This is all great. Assange is coming up in like 15, 20 minutes. We're going to get to that. Let's fade this down. We've got raw feeds from Right Side News on InfoWars.com if you want those. InfoWars.com/show is our mixed feed with our analysis here. It is 3:31 and 45 seconds Central Time. That's 4:31 Eastern. Assange is coming up in about 15 minutes. Then he speaks for 10. He does a press conference for 20. Then we give analysis after. Paul Watson. Paul Watson should probably pop in with us here pretty soon. I know he's up and working and agreed to come on. What did Paul Watson say? You're kidding. Okay, well, tell him not to worry about it then. Okay. But regardless, ladies and gentlemen, I'm here with our crew. I am here in Austin, Texas, broadcasting worldwide, and we have WikiLeaks here in the background. A lady in broken English from Italy, I don't blame her, I can't speak Italian, going into what her sources went through, the harassment, what it's been like. She's here humanizing WikiLeaks, the head of Assange, about to join. Let's go to Darren McBreen. Here we are at 3:30 in the morning covering this. This is history. Again, how hardcore is the data dump he's going to give on Hillary?
Well, I hope it's super hardcore, but you know, you guys were talking earlier about how a lot of times you go to these news websites and you get more information in the comments section. And then, Alex, you said that a lot of times what they'll do is they'll turn off the comment section so nobody can read it.
Yeah, that's the new architecture.
But they're even going a step further. Hillary Clinton, she now has a troll army. So what she will do is they've got all these people that they're spending millions of dollars for these trolls to go to these news websites, to go to InfoWars.com, to go to Facebook, and to argue with people and of course they're pro-Hillary, and they basically attack anybody who has anything to do, anything against her. So these are paid trolls, an army of paid trolls.
Owen Schroyer, what's your view on this?
Well, Darren is completely correct. They have to pay these people to go online. You can
Soros does.
Soros does. This is actually a David Brock founded PAC. David Brock founded Correct the Record, which is what you're alluding to, Darren. And it's now operated by Elizabeth Cohen. Millions of dollars going to these people. You can look at all their financials online. And you know what? As we're talking about David Brock here, you know what's amazing? That's something I don't think it's said enough.
And by the way, let's put the WikiLeaks press conference kind of lower corner if we can, so folks know what's going on. You know, we're covering that, but go ahead.
So Fox News calls you out, MSNBC calls you out, you know, CNN, whoever calls you out, and you respond. Hillary Clinton calls you out, says you have a dark heart. You respond with
and they never covered it.
Okay. I called you a money laundering thief, David Brock.
Yeah, notice he won't respond.
Where are you?
Because he doesn't want to go there.
If somebody said something that damning about myself, about my personal record, I think that I would want to respond. So here you go.
No, he won't respond to any of the reports you were covering.
So, David Brock, I'm accusing you of money laundering. I think that you are an absolute thief. You are the Jordan Belfort of the Democratic campaign donation funding. You and Mary Bonner need to be audited and looked into by the IRS and probably put in jail. Okay, let's hear you respond to that. I bet your dark heart has nothing.
But look how he's a total moron. He looks like he looks like a lobotomized dog with that fake fop hair, like he's an intellectual.
He's got a nice wave.
He looks like a dog in the headlights. I mean, look at that joke. He has that stupid gray hair, like a Mars attack space alien head. What the hell's going on there?
He doesn't care about anything else except money. All right, that's all this guy cares about.
And he loves Vienna sausage.
Well, actually, well, okay.
No, I mean,
hey, his ex-boyfriend actually blackmailed him and
no. He's a connoisseur of Vienna sausage. I mean, he actually likes little canned meats.
Okay, well, like, are you talking about mini weenies, or does he like?
Yes, mini weenies.
He likes the mini weenies.
David Brock likes mini weenies.
When David Brock has one of his super PACs,
when he has thought bubbles, it's about Vienna sausage.
When he has his super PACs hosting these parties, actually he serves miniature wieners at his party. But hey, he got blackmailed by his ex-boyfriend. He had to pay his ex-boyfriend $850,000.
I didn't mean that. I mean he's a connoisseur of breakfast sausages.
Well, regardless of what you meant or what you said, I mean, he did get blackmailed by his ex-boyfriend. So he's got that going for him, though.
I totally agree. McBreen, you want to pop in here? Hey, about Daria, you want to pop in? Rob Dube, Marcos Morales, anybody?
Come on, let's call David. Let's all call David Brock.
I can easily dominate this entire discussion. Everybody knows I can.
Hey,
who wants to talk? I've already talked about mini weenies. Go ahead, Dave.
Well, I fixed my jacket there. I had my jacket off for a second, but just watching WikiLeaks put this thing together, I'm surprised they haven't just come out with the lead with the big guns. You know what? I don't know what this party is.
Well, they've already released some incredibly powerful stuff.
They have, but you would think that the stuff that they're talking about and the buildup that has been to this 10-year anniversary.
Well, they're just giving a history.
I hope they're not trolling anybody, is what I'm saying. I hope they're not trolling the world right now.
But I mean, what could
here, real quick, let's go to this guy. Let's go to journalist John Goetz. Here he is.
I think in some of the announcements that I work for WikiLeaks or something like that. That's not true. Just want to make that very clear. I'm a journalist that works for NDR and for the Süddeutsche Zeitung.
It says that in the announcement.
I was asked just to kind of talk
I'm not going to be mean, but I love these liberal journalists, even ones that have good hearts. It's always how the facts are straight up front. They got to correct you like they're the boss right away. WikiLeaks said investigative German-based journalist John Goetz. They said it right, man. Good God. Let's go back to him. Here, I knew that was coming as soon as I saw him.
Continued today in my capacity where I work now. And we've worked with WikiLeaks on some of the releases. We haven't done all of the releases. There've been, and basically we look at each release at a time, and we look to authenticate and it's
all about his integrity. WikiLeaks has all been documented.
And then we decide.
It's had an incredible track record.
Example, if we're going to
just throw it in WikiLeaks. Just don't.
And it just, when I look back
I'm just curious, is it 3 a.m. his time too? Because he looks like he just rolled out of bed.
No, it's 10:38, which is the night for him.
Very naive about encryption, about the safety of emails, the safety of downloading documents. I remember at the time
that's the great part, is WikiLeaks shows us how this whole surveillance grid is bringing down the system itself. They built it to surveil us. But it's blown up in their face, Owen.
Well, it's a inevitable. That's a beast. That's how it's going to end. I mean, you can't stop something. It's like all of these people are warning us about artificial intelligence. We see stories breaking about artificial intelligence being the next big threat to humanity.
They're already replacing all the cars, the ships. The elite want to get rid of us. It's not that AI is bad. The elite are designing it to be anti-human from the beginning.
And if it gets out of control, they're not going to be able to save themselves. But they're delusional enough. That's the typical mindset. That's the psychology.
No, I've learned the average elitist thinks they're God. Rob, do you want to pop in?
Just adjusting my light. But I'm still amazed that they're sitting here talking about splitting hairs at this point. I wish, I'm not complaining, I guess. We've only been here an hour and 40 minutes.
I think it was better before you aimed the light over your head. It's like the reverse, the little kid with the flashlight.
It is. Well, this is actually one of our track lights. I just popped it over because we're lighting up McBreen to make him look good.
Hey, can you make yourself, for a minute, just act fake liberal, act like you're really important for a minute. Let's all just sit back and go.
Actually, this shirt isn't from the year 2000. It's from
mess
2002.
up your hair a little bit.
And, I've been working here for a total of 3 years, 632 days, and 42 minutes. And, I'd like to thank everybody. I'd like to thank my control guy. What's your name again? Marcos? Hi. Steve. Yeah, I would like that. Yeah, we're really working hard today. And, it's sad that we've kind of come to this at 3 in the morning. But, it's... how did we get here? Assange came out and was going to make this announcement, and then supposedly he's gotten death threats on his life, and he was going to make it from the balcony, kind of make this big production. And it's interesting because they show photos of him. Pull up that photo of him on the balcony. That looks pretty, that would be pretty historic.
Presidential.
Him getting on there and so, look, here's the documents, shaking his. But now we're in like a little theater in Berlin with people passing around microphones, and
it's like a small little venue too. It kind of looks like almost like a liberal little college hangout or something.
It's a coffee house type atmosphere.
Yeah. I mean, whatever, get the leaks out.
I guess now they're taking questions from the audience. Maybe we should from the journalists.
Yeah, like, where's Assange? Let's get to the meat and potatoes.
Yeah.
InfoWars.com.
The Americans are impatient.
Yeah, so we
it's
had
not 10 a.m. here, sweetheart.
For some smaller size.
They don't have cool haircuts like the guy in the middle.
Cablegate. In the summer, we had with the Afghan war logs, for example, a sort of smaller size one than we then came to have with about 3 or 4 partners, and as we rolled out Cablegate, essentially what it was that as we would start to publish the cables to do with a certain region or country, we would basically analyze the media in that country and look at who had the best investigative teams, and would therefore do justice to the material. Often we got more than one in each country. We actually discovered working with...
By the way, I want to say something. It's like Snowden giving the Washington Post his story. They call for his arrest and execution. I love how WikiLeaks, and this is just a criticism, I love WikiLeaks, I love Assange, but he has to deal with mainstream media reporters. who literally think because they can write an article, they're God. I mean, there's a lot of arrogance here on average that we're seeing today. And with Snowden, they screwed him over. And so that's why everybody should just do their own journalist, their own report, so it's more pure. Because that's what this comes down to. You're seeing InfoWars.com live coverage of the WikiLeaks hour-and-a-half press conference. We're 42 minutes into it. In the next 10, 15 minutes, Assange is going to show up. It's what we're all waiting for right now. We've kind of gotten the history of WikiLeaks. It's very interesting. The problem is that the people doing the presentation are so cool, they can't kind of bring themselves to give us any information. And I'm not trying to be mean. It's just that this is why I get called 10 times a day, sometimes like 30, 40 big profiles, New York Times, Washington Post, you name it, in the last few months. I just said I'm not doing it because I don't have time to sit there on a weird power trip with some journalist for a day so they write some twisted article. Just write whatever you're going to write. So my deal is InfoWars, Drudge Report, we're the future, we're huge. WikiLeaks is great, but it's good to see how unpretentious Drudge is or how unpretentious InfoWars is, because these folks are great. It's just, my God, who puts together these productions? Get right to it. I would, give a 5-minute history of what we've done, 5-minute history of what we've been through, and then get to the data dump. Get to the meat and potatoes now. That's
Alex,
what we want.
Andrew Breitbart came out and said he's got this amazing video. I think it was at some straw pack or something.
And he died a day later.
Yeah, and then he died. And then the stuff they released, it didn't quite live up to what you thought it would be.
That's right. Okay, she's now gone to a new video. Let's go to her. We love WikiLeaks.
Against Visa and MasterCard, and we're in the damages phase of that. So hopefully over the next few months and year, there will be some updates on that case. But we are being successful as that progresses.
They are getting a lot of folks exposed.
Of course, had
as the clearinghouse where all the people send their data.
Electronic, some of it mass surveillance, and some of it obviously targeted. Julian Assange is in an embassy where, although there was...
this is only the beginning, though, of exposing all this. This is history happening. Julian Assange is coming. Next 10 minutes. Press conference from Germany. InfoWars.com, live coverage. InfoWars.com/show. And what really happens is, once he gives us the dirt, we start investigating it. We put the reports out first. We counter the globalist controlled narrative. Let's go back to Sarah Harrison and the WikiLeaks release.
Grand jury case against us and the surveillance that we get. A couple of Christmases ago, I got a lovely Christmas present from Google, where they sent me finally, after having been keeping it secret for 2 years. They sent me the subpoena that they'd had on my emails. Now, it was interesting that this was a private email account before I joined WikiLeaks, so this really goes to show the dragnet nature of the investigation in the United States that Melinda will talk more about in a second. And just before she comes on, I just sort of want to say that we've really seen with the grand jury in the US from a member of staff that this is really, we can see that it is trying to get our boss, our editor-in-chief, Julian Assange, but it's quite worrying for all of us as members of staff that they're willing to go to these lengths, where my private emails, with my family, etc., were caught up in this dragnet surveillance to try and get Julian on criminal codes such as espionage, conspiracy to commit espionage, computer fraud and abuse acts. These are all very serious crimes in the United States. And this is on top of something I just want to illustrate now because I think it shows it quite well. This sort of surveillance and these sorts of secret legal threats that the US government has been, or the US has been making against us, have also come from a number of government officials in quite a personal way ever since 2010 they began.
Yep.
High-tech terrorists, cyber terrorists, and information terrorism.
Shut it down.
We're gonna hack you. Use a drone or something. A bullet in the brain. Illegally shoot somebody. Information warfare is warfare. And Julian Assange is engaged in warfare. Information terrorism, which leads to people getting killed, is terrorism, and Julian Assange is engaged in terrorism. He should be treated as an enemy combatant. WikiLeaks should be closed down permanently and decisively.
Should the United States do something to stop Mr. Assange?
We're looking at that right now. The Justice Department is taking a look at that. I would argue that it's closer to being a high-tech terrorist than the Pentagon Papers.
This disclosure is not just an attack on America's foreign policy interests. It is an attack on the international community.
The head of WikiLeaks is not a particularly credible source in my mind. He is a, in my mind, he's a criminal, and he ought to be hunted down and grabbed and then put on trial for what he's done here.
I think the man is a high-tech terrorist. He's done it in Assange. Yeah. He needs to be prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law, and if that becomes a problem, we need to change the law.
Well, I think Assange should be assassinated, actually. I think Obama should put out a contract and maybe use a drone or something.
You don't want to act panicked and have the...
Well, you don't have to act panicked. You can act tough and say, if we catch you, we're going to hang you.
Yeah. Well,
whatever.
We heard some of that from Holder.
Julian Assange is a cyber terrorist in wartime. He's guilty of sabotage, espionage, crimes against humanity. He should be killed. How is it that the WikiLeaks guy remains free? Back in the old days when men were men and countries were countries, this guy would die of lead poisoning from a bullet in the brain, and nobody would know who put it there.
The way to deal with this is pretty simple. We got special ops forces. I mean, the dead man can't leak stuff. This guy's a traitor, a treasonous, and he has broken every law of the United States. The guy ought to be, and I'm not for the death penalty, so if I'm not for the death penalty, I'm going to do it. Illegally shoot the son of a...
It's time that the Obama administration treats WikiLeaks for what it is, a terrorist organization whose continued operation threatens our security. Shut it down. Shut it down. It is time to shut down this terrorist organization, this terrorist website, WikiLeaks. Shut it down, Attorney General Holder.
Wow. Okay, we're going to go back to WikiLeaks here in a moment. Assange is coming up. They're about 7 minutes behind. So Assange will come up, it looks like, at about 4:06 Central. That'll be 5:06 Eastern. We're going to be covering it all live. But we can say that WikiLeaks puts on a bad TV promotion and kind of has a guy who looks like he rolled out of bed. But they are great patriots. We're making jokes here in the middle of the night. We want to get to the meat and potatoes. But to say they're terrorists exposing crimes of multinationals that have hijacked this country and government drug dealing and Fast and Furious and Hillary creating ISIS and funding Al-Qaeda, they're patriots. So here's a Julian Assange who was going to go out on that balcony and has such great courage. And here's to these folks, too, who are writers. They're not really, TV people trying to go out and do that. So they're doing a great job. I want to go back to this new lady that's on screen. But briefly, I want to point out, we're listener supported. We don't really go off sponsorship. InfoWarsStore.com. InfoWarsLife.com, our great new probiotic, Bomb Defense, Hillary for Prison shirts, all sorts of great radio systems, non-GMO seeds, heirloom seeds, InfoWarsStore.com, InfoWarsLife.com, and check out the products and support true independent nationalist media. Also support Right Side Broadcasting Network, RSBN.TV. They're totally listener supported. Go there and make a donation and see all their great hosts and work they're doing, RSBN.TV. I'm Alex Jones with live coverage. Assange is coming up in about 17 minutes. They're behind schedule. But let's go to whoever this journalist in. I guess she's Melinda Taylor, lawyer for Julian Assange on legal threats and status. Just went up. Here she is.
Services to their Swedish counterpart. It was underlined that please do not think that this case is being dealt with as just another extradition request. And why was that? It's because the long arm of the US had reached out to its allies and indicated that it wanted Assange by any means possible.
The long arm of the globalist.
As a result, it's the ever-present risk of being carted off to face an unfair and abusive prosecution in the US that forms the bars that keeps Julian indefinitely detained. The complex legal decisions and actions that have given rise to this indefinite detention can be distilled to a few simple and irrefutable facts. There is an ongoing national security prosecution of both Julian and WikiLeaks.
That's right. This is getting good. This is what should have been day one. Her lawyer, then Assange. This is good. So I'm going to shut up.
History. and it is the largest cybersecurity prosecution in the US Army. This prosecution has already given rise to several legal abuses and mistreatment. Chelsea Manning was interrogated in relation to both Julian Assange and WikiLeaks. The UN Special Rapporteur on Torture found that the interrogation methods applied to her amounted to torture. As Sarah mentioned, in 2012, the Department of Justice issued secret subpoenas to Google to obtain email accounts with private, personal, privileged information, and there was barely a whimper of protest before they were given up.
Share this link, folks. You are the InfoWars. Share the link.
28th of January 2015, a spokesperson
change the election
for the Eastern District of Virginia confirmed the criminal investigation into Julian is ongoing, and the risk presented by
they hate it when you take action.
Grown in the last few years.
The risk is you don't take action. Attack.
Is a thorn in the side of U.S. politicians who would prefer that their dirty secrets and mistakes are hidden from the very people who have the power to either elect or dismiss them. The inability to view Julian or WikiLeaks with any level of impartiality has just been emphasized by the recent smear campaign caused by the DNC leaks. Once again, the specter of Reds under the beds has been resurrected. Just because WikiLeaks dared to publish information, for example, about Hillary Clinton's policy failings and her short-sighted and flawed approach to international interventions, for example, in Libya. He published this, therefore he must be anti-American. He must be an enemy of state. They don't see him as a publisher. They see him as an enemy combatant who must be brought to heel by any means possible.
Now this lady's good. This is what we should have been hearing day one.
Placed on
sorry,
an NSA
a couple trendies bubbling around is not good.
Along with other members of terrorist organizations. And as Sarah mentioned, there was reports that came out recently that Hillary Clinton, in a meeting, proposed to just drone the guy. And while this has been going on, both Sweden and the United Kingdom have refused to give any assurances that he won't be handed over to the US if he were to go to Sweden. And of course they hide behind technical reasons for their refusal. Oh, we haven't received a formal request from the US for his extradition. Or we can only give him an assurance that he won't be given to the US after he leaves the embassy and after he comes to Sweden. It's just like the big bad wolf who's outside the doors of the Ecuadorian embassy. He's trying to huff and puff and blow it down. And now he's trying to convince Julian to leave. Come out, Julian. I might be chomping on a Chelsea Manning sandwich. That might be Edward Snowden in a frying pan behind me, but you'll be safe if you come. And so the stalemate continues. Julian remains detained because the UK and Sweden continue to flout their international obligations and their duty to protect him from this risk. But even though Julian has been locked up, they haven't been able to silence him or WikiLeaks.
That's right. More people are copying
Over the last
DC leaks, you name it.
Whilst Julian was detained,
killing that DC staffer didn't help, did it?
Key information that has changed the world.
Walking around on the pier, Mark Dice should do this video, walking around asking people, have you ever heard of Julian Assange?
He doesn't like Hillary. We want to kill him. They'd be like, yeah, let's kill that son of a bitch.
And the shadowy outlines of Brick Brother.
He's trying to take Hillary.
Murder him. Stop him. Stop Assange for Hillary. Stop Assange for Obama.
You wonder how Nazi Germany happened. A bunch of people just got behind their leader and did whatever they said. Group thing. Need to get out of that. Here, let's go back to her.
It was the detailed minutiae of
Julian Assange's lawyer.
And excesses that were set out and leaked to U.S. diplomatic cables that acted as a catalyst for the Arab Spring. But the diplomatic emails and cables leaked by WikiLeaks were also instrumental in revealing the political machinations that both preceded and accompanied the NATO intervention in Libya. For example, one can see in Hillary Clinton's emails that she was aware of the profile of Saif Gaddafi as a potential reformer.
This is a prelude to her killing Gaddafi on purpose, which we broke today first. Quote from the ambassador and the former Black Caucus leader. This is a prelude to her arming the rebels. Because that was, he said, part of it is her arming Al-Qaeda, turning into ISIS. So she's preluding.
Between securing oil contracts as compared to protecting civilian lives. So these documents have had a range of repercussions in a range of areas. They're used by both the Victims' Council and Defence Council international courts and tribunals. And that is because they help to establish the truth. Truth might be a universal value, but it's a rare commodity. Not everyone has equal access to authentic evidence. If you're a sitting head of state or a head of a multinational corporation, often you can conjure up documents at a minute's notice. But if you're a human rights defender, a political opponent, or a dissenter, it's very hard to get access to evidence to help prove claims or protect your rights. But by making troves of authentic documents freely available, WikiLeaks has leveled the legal playing field. Thanks to WikiLeaks, you don't have to be a government crony or an insider to get information concerning, for example, the collateral murder of civilians and journalists in Iraq, mistreatment of detainees in Guantanamo Bay, US spying on foreign diplomats, unfair and unbalanced trade agreements. Today's event has been convened to mark the 10th year anniversary.
And by the way, I'm not bragging, but clearly they're going to go with Hillary funding radical Islam and Al-Qaeda. That's going to be one of the big deals. We broke it with Tosh Plumlee, Colonel Schaefer, Steve Pachinik, years before WikiLeaks did. And good for them. I'm glad they're there. I wish they'd break the whole thing and defeat them, but understand InfoWars.com, tip of the spear, baby. And I'm very proud of our crew and what we've done here. Let's continue with the live WikiLeaks coverage in association with Right Side Broadcasting, RSBN.TV.
I would like to thank Julian.
Yeah, I just lost audio. Have we lost the feed here? Let's go back. Right Side Broadcasting lost their feed.
WikiLeaks found
the UN decision, just so that you can get the wording of that Melinda was just...
Yeah, this is Germany, bounced through Virginia, bounced through Austin. We're going to have some problems. This is Christopher. How do you pronounce his name?
I think it's Pusho.
Pusho. With a video.
As a result of
this is the UN press conference, correct? This is the UN press conference video.
The expert panel called on the Swedish
All right, here we go.
authorities to
La bonté de petit con. Sorry, I can speak French, yeah? You like that?
Integrity and freedom of movement, and afford him the right to compensation.
And despite that UN ruling that came several months ago, Julian is still in the Ecuadorian embassy in London, although hopefully via video to us right now.
All right, they're trying to get Assange on. This is the moment we've been waiting for. We better hear some major dirt. And I've been told by Stone and others that have been in contact with him, we're about to get, quote,
we heard that, Julian.
Devastation of the Clintons.
All right, that's great.
Devastation. We're up at 4 a.m. Central.
Weirdly echoing sort of in an omnipresent...
I'm trying to figure out equipment right now.
I hope this is so big that we can...
Why didn't they call InfoWars in? We'd have it all spotlessly run. Why do we have to have a bunch of scurrying around here?
Come on now.
Come on now.
This
Load
one
the
goes
torpedoes
there.
that way.
That one goes there.
Aim the crosshairs this way. Pull the trigger that way. There, sink the enemy. That's how it's done. Pull the knife across the throat like that, across the carotid. Press in lovingly. Watch the blood spray. Politically.
Okay, just
stab him a few times right in the stomach for good measure.
That out for just a couple of seconds. Does anybody have a question from the...
It looks like they restarted the computer.
Trying to set that up.
As if they're not going to hack. I said try to keep Assange off. I mean, it might be technical difficulties too, but this is like your... You want to hear this, InfoWars.com/show.
On the specific announcements, the sort of... I know it sounds a bit bad, but it's a bit of a get-out clause, but obviously the nature of sort of a security issue for him is one that we can't really go...
No, I get it. He can't be on the balcony, but his security, he better get the dirt out.
Happy birthday.
Here we go. Go to Assange, full broadcast. InfoWars.com coverage. Here we go.
This is truth, not Ruth, actually. I actually didn't hear much of what went on because you need to be close to the mic that's connected to the computer system. But, okay, so I understand kind of the big thing, so we have time for questions. Over the last 10 years, WikiLeaks has released 10 million documents comprising of 10 billion words. And why numbers are not everything, they're a start. That's information that never would have existed in the world had we not released it. It would have been stored away somewhere privately, but it wouldn't have become part of our collective civilizational knowledge. And it corresponds to approximately 3,000 documents a day on average. That's a hell of a lot of work. That's why we don't release every single day. We do things at scale in order to, say, release 100,000 documents at once. But it does pan out to about 3,000 documents per day. Now, why do this at all? I'm in a position where I've been detained without charge here in the UK, in one form or another, prison, house arrest, the last 4 years in the embassy, as a result of this work. Some of our sources, or alleged sources, have suffered terrible consequences in the United States. Actually, not many. We have thousands, and there's only a couple of alleged sources that are facing difficulty, but altogether, being sources and supporters, people have been sentenced to something like 50 years altogether. And the two most significant cases was that of Chelsea Manning in the United States, sentenced to 35 years in prison, purely for communicating.
And he's offered to turn himself in if they'll let Chelsea Manning out.
There's no other allegation.
We're watching live WikiLeaks coverage of the Julian Assange press conference at InfoWars.com and RSBN.TV, Right Side Broadcasting News.
Subject to cruel and inhumane treatment akin to torture. Jeremy Hammond, imprisoned in New York for 10 years. And a number of supporters back in the heat of the kind of first phase of neo-McCarthyist hysteria in the United States in 2010, 2011, went through a legal process as well. Most of them got off without any imprisonment. But, okay, what does it teach you? Well, it teaches you something about the structure of power. Whenever WikiLeaks engages in a release... Again,
we're trying to fix their audio. They've just got an open mic in a huge room.
About institution, or about...
A little bit better. This is Julian Assange speaking.
Is interesting. But also the reactions by the institution of the state are extremely revealing. And the reactions by tertiary players, such as particular media groups and their alignment, allied institutions, and so on. I mean, this in some ways harkens back to the old statement of Voltaire that if you want to understand structure of power, you should see who it is that you have difficulty writing about. Well, myself, my staff, and our sources, we believe in some kind of romantic ideal. It's quite a quaint notion. It's quite a cynical notion. It's quite a notion, in fact, that perhaps in some ways doesn't belong to this time. It belongs to an older time, perhaps a future time, which is that through understanding the world, we can do something sane. We can do something rational. It's not something of coming out of a postmodernist view, extremely bounded rationality, where we just kind of point it. We actually, it's fascinating to understand the world around us, and through this understanding, we can see justice come from it, as we have in many cases, some of which Sarah has pointed out. In fact, you can break down this quest for knowledge and understanding into really the three types of history. And by history, journalists will understand that I don't mean what happened 100 years ago, or not only what happened 100 years ago. I mean history circa now, the history that is unfolding all around us. What are the three types? So type one, the history which is subsidized, where there is economic interest in propelling it and promoting it. That, of course, includes all kinds of advertising and propaganda, but it also includes very basic things, such as how to hammer in particular types of nails, how to build a pump, how to fly an airplane.
All right, we're trying to figure out exactly what's being said here, ladies and gentlemen, just like everybody else. Julian Assange is here with millions watching around the world. I think he just talked about building a pub or something, so we're trying to figure this out right now.
It's economic subsidy, knowledge which is no longer propelled in the world, but sits there and perhaps slowly decays. That's important to try in some cases to drive that knowledge, but generally speaking, it's not kept around because people don't find it interesting enough to keep around. And then there's the type 3 history.
None of them think to bring the mic close to the speaker. It's like way back in the back of the room, they're all just acting liberal, like, ugh, liberal, ugh. And they can't even hear it.
I'm honestly shocked at the two-bit nature of this so far.
Well, I mean, I don't want to be negative or mean here, but we're just going to be honest. It's all we can do. This is a frickin' train wreck. And I'm glad my crew came in and worked really hard tonight. We are like 10 minutes into incoherent babble. I mean, can I just hear like Shire so I can like send the ring race where this is at? I mean, because I'm sitting here and we've got him over the hot coals here. And again, in the incoherent babbling, you're hearing anything?
I'm struggling to make out a lot of what he's saying. I've been trying to hear the words Clinton or Democrats or U.S. election. I haven't really heard any of those key words.
Well, in case he's doing it, let's go back to it. We're just not intellectual enough to understand this. Here, let's go back to it.
Of the history of a war, in fact, the history of two countries. That would not have otherwise.
History of countries, that's a large history.
For those countries or for the other countries that were embroiled in those wars to understand and derive lessons from. So through...
Maybe this will be better when we put the HD out with actual audio.
Will they? And if they can, why aren't we just plug directly into that? Now we've got questions on the broadcast. We can't even get...
No, people bitch when the NFL has like 3 minutes of darkness, you know, the power outage. This is a train wreck.
Library of Alexandria. I think we probably had more documents than Alexandria.
Okay, he had more documents than Santa Claus ever shed out his ass. We get it. Now give us some documentation.
We have the first month of what we bring into the world being present, as opposed to copies of other books, which might be interesting, but we're in the quest of trying to find original documents that have never been seen before and bringing them.
I know, you got the best damn documents. Show them to us.
Understand. Okay, so Sarah has spoken about some of the technical details and a bit about practical history. I want to speak now about some of the things we're doing going forward, the future of WikiLeaks. Well, I know I've seen the internet, and I understand that there's enormous expectation in the United States.
Yeah, there's enormous expectation.
Some of that expectation will be partly answered.
Built up by him.
Here we go.
You should understand that if we're going to make a major publication in relation to the United States at a particular hour, we don't do it at 3 a.m. That's something...
we don't do it at 3 a.m. What this is like it is a troll to get us to tune into WikiLeaks so these idiots can get on TV with their hair sticking up. He just admitted it. We don't do it at 3 a.m. Oh my God!
WikiLeaks has grown
made a deal with Hillary, I guess.
A relatively strong position. We're a publishing organization.
I just tweeted that out. WikiLeaks is trolling the world, but I put our link.
He actually said that, or did you tweet that?
Just tweeted that. It's happening right
He just said we don't release this at 3 a.m. It's actually 5 a.m. Eastern.
In every litigation.
So what is this, a ceremony?
It's all 10 years. They have a bunch of weird women up there.
That puts us
I mean, I thought the lawyer was good.
Of being completely independent,
We're completely independent.
Dodgy.
We're not narcissistic at all.
Or advertisers.
But did you see me in the mirror and all the ladies that love me?
Look at our high-quality broadcast.
If you can make out a single word of it, you are a genius.
But nonetheless, the
nonetheless,
material that WikiLeaks is going to publish before the end of the year is of a significant...
Before the end of the year, he's made a deal. Before the election, jackass. 34 days. 34. Private Pile. 34. 34, Private Pile. What is that? It's a goddamn jelly donut. And why don't we have jelly donuts? Because you are a disgusting liberal fob.
WikiLeaks needs to change in order to survive.
Devastating. Devastating.
Now, why we
Operation Asswipe, launched by Julian Assange.
While we are
so far, a devastating letdown.
And I expect to be able to build up to about 100 additional journalistic staff over the next 2 years.
Let me tell you, they don't have more documents. They've already released a lot of powerful stuff. Let's give them that. They're wanting other people to leak more stuff, but their DNC source got killed. So Assange's done a great job of the interviews he's done. This is a train wreck. But hey, we came in, we made the effort. We're the winners. We are the champions, my friend. And we'll keep on fighting till the end
of this broadcast.
You mean there's still a chance? There's still 3 minutes left. You could say something.
On a number of elements.
Headline, Julian Assange trolls the world.
Hillary wants to kill you, Julian. Come on.
No. He made a deal. I don't want to say that, but that's what this is leaning.
Courageously given me asylum. It will not...
It's all about him. Real asylum. You see all the women that like me? Real asylum. Real asylum.
If necessary, of course...
Julian Assange has done some good work. I'm not going to take that away from him.
The Ecuadorian people...
Hey, we have our own leaks.
We have to react to this broadcast. I mean...
We have to be honest. That's all we got.
I mean, I'm just watching the broadcast and reacting to it.
So part of...
I love the hammered audio. That's the best part.
Hey, you know what?
Who has better audio? What?
AP?
We have engaged in a new project.
All right, bring AP back up.
Prevent censorship. And we will also give call to arms. If the
his audio is not much better. I come to you from Clandatho, home world of the bug people.
Which I expect almost.
I have bugs living in my brain.
What else?
Yeah, what else? If you're all looking for some giant data dump, we don't do it at 3 a.m. Trolls, back a chicken womb, move, bitch, get out the way. Get out the way, bitch, get out the way.
Something that we have been working on for a while.
He's like 3 spliffs, double crowns, gold chains, machine guns.
Membership system where we will give voting rights in relation to 20% of the discretionary expenditure we have. It's important to keep us independent and keep a sustained and predictable income as opposed to significant income coming from the times of publication, but in the times of between publications where there's extensive litigation, then the funding is more unpredictable, which is a difficult position to be in if you're in the middle of litigation. Okay, on upcoming journalism, because we have so many publications due before the end of the year, we're in the
we got to have other people get the leaks, not just WikiLeaks. I mean, this has become a loggerhead, a log jam. It's become a big traffic jam.
Well, I'm just confused why he's saying devastating. I mean, he's the one that
devastating, incredible info. He said a month ago, coming soon. He told people that it was going to be the biggest thing since sliced bread, and all we got was some weird, trendy guy. Sorry, go ahead. And a bunch of women obsessed with him.
People were really building this up. They were really stoked for this.
Here, let's play some more. I did. I've been trolled by Julian Assange.
He trolled us.
Oh, now the AP video's held up.
Hold on, Alex. Let's actually. Okay.
Here we go.
We're in both an enviable position and also in a very difficult position of having more than a million documents to get through of many different
Is it
sources.
true? Yes, it's true. This man has no dick.
To increase our number of press partnerships, we have about 110 different organizations over the years. I think there's about 89 active at the moment.
He did the big tell. He goes, by the end of the year, they're going to wait till the election's over and release whatever it is.
Who's got a bigger man piece, Michelle Obama or Julian Assange right now?
Julian, listen.
We're not trying to be mean to Julian Assange.
Oh, the two trannies, she's definitely got the bigger gun.
This has been an interesting
We're having some hysterical fun. Here, let's go back to this guy. Let's go back to Julian Assange, who I liked until this moment. I'm having a real problem.
And what your subject matter expertise is.
But, you know, it is karma. We troll a lot. We've been trolled.
That is the WikiLeaks files.
Now he's going to hawk some products. InfoWarsLife.com, InfoWarsStore.com. You can buy our non-GMO heirloom seeds, widest selection. And I guarantee you, you will actually grow some real vegetables, fruit trees, you name it. Probiotic, fight him down, please. Biome Defense, high-powered InfoWars probiotics. Dude, I can't believe he just trolled the world. He could have released more documents, then plugged his book, but he didn't do it. Oh, my God. It's like Home Shopping Network. I'm here with a whole giant crew. At least we put on a good production. InfoWarsLife.com, InfoWarsStore.com. Right Side News did a great job covering this, RSBN.TV. They're all over the country when they don't show the Trump rallies, the crowds, Trump behind the scenes. They're total listener supported. Go there and make a donation. RSBN.TV. You can go to InfoWarsStore.com and get Hillary for President shirts, the Bill Clinton rape shirt, all of our whistleblowers like Tosh Plumlee and countless others, CFR members like, Steve Pachenik, all the big whistleblowers. Who else gets Matt Drudge? I don't want to toot our horn, but who gets Matt Drudge? I had an interview in 3 years but us. InfoWars.com every day, 11 a.m. to 3 p.m., the nightly news, 7 o'clock, InfoWars.com, InfoWarsStore.com, the amazing nutraceuticals that nobody else has got, True Iodine, liver cleanse, lung cleanse. Check it out. InfoWarsStore.com. Look at the little son of a bitch up there smiling. I tell you, this is a joke. This was Fop World. He made a deal, folks. My gut tells me. I can't prove that. He said after the election, he said by the end of the year, he made the deal. And so good for him. He shot a few shots across the bow.
Comes about as a result of the efforts of a great many people and institutions.
Yeah, folks that send him stuff, and then he's the clearinghouse. Darren McBrain, what do you make of this? This is a train wreck.
What we're doing, and in some cases.
Darren, when we're going to go to the press conference, maybe some real questions will come there. I'm sorry, we don't release documents at 3 a.m. when we make everyone tune in to do it, so Julian Assange can troll us.
Well, all I've gotten out of this so far is I mean, how many times? If we had a drinking game, we'd be hammered. If every time he said, we had to take a drink. No, this is a train wreck, Alex.
Hey,
and we've been trolled.
Let's actually get a camera crew in here, not to shoot us, but let's actually have a camera crew shoot a television with the audio, and then we'll just feed that out. We won't actually have the HD feed. Let's just take a shot of the TV with the audio coming from the TV.
I'm just running around on Twitter right now, and Philip Klaus said this is sadly like Al Capone's vault opening, which I think we can agree.
I agree. I agree. Yeah. I mean, the name of this is now Julian Assange trolls the world worse than Al Capone's vault.
He does seem, I mean, he does in this video, again, I'm hoping, all right, I'm going to keep my fingers crossed Julian Assange will come out with something still. He's still talking. But he kind of seems he's coming off like a bit of a cuck.
No. He said
in this,
by the end of the year, hey, buddy, there's 2 months to the end of the year after the election. We have 34 days, Pyle, to save the world from Hillary that wants to kill you. What the hell's your problem?
Do you want to kick ass or do you want to start chewing concrete?
You got two choices. Start giving us the data, Assange, or go to Easter Bunny Place.
I came here to chew bubblegum and listen to Assange leaked documents, and I got neither.
And I'm all out of bubblegum.
No.
Man, I have never been trolled like this, and the audience has been trolled.
But look at him. He's always...
They told Assange, you tell them they're doing the leak. You chump them all, and, buddy, you're going to get that little flight right into Paraguay in your Easter Bunny nest.
Did he? Is that the Carl the Cuck haircut though?
Here, let's go back to hearing. Let's go back.
Are you kidding me?
Our allies, media partners, and other defenders in hundreds of institutions and countries.
Yeah, we defend your free speech. It's on the computer.
Professor Gavin McFadden, who's in a very difficult way.
No showmanship. This is big
He keeps
budget.
saying we're going to destroy Hillary. It's devastating. Get ready for the last few months. It's always this week, this week, this week. And then now it's like, I got a book, I got a DVD, I got a video. And it's like, where's the production then? If it was some big studio, we'd buy it. But I mean, we're here fighting for free speech. We break more stuff than they do half the time.
Is this the death of WikiLeaks? I mean, are we?
Drudge breaks stuff every day.
We thought we were about to
kiss this guy's ass.
We thought we were about to have a rebirth. We thought we were going to have like a new explosion of WikiLeaks, and now are we seeing the exact opposite?
This is Hillary's October surprise.
Come on,
Julian Assange trolling the world is Hillary's October surprise.
Come on, Assange.
Julian Assange is a Hillary butt plug.
Legal counsel, Don Jones.
I think we have the title for tonight's news.
I'm not sure you can say that on TV, Alex.
No, I mean, Assange is a Hillary butt probe.
So
far, her buddy.
Another one of our lawyers.
Very much, Julian.
When you're showering at 1 a.m., you're like, what the hell am I into?
Time to take some questions.
All right, here we go.
Here we go.
Questions.
Some of the worshiping ferret women. This is Assange. He just chumped everyone.
You can't even hear the question either.
Look at him. You got to look like he just, was with the dog.
Julian, do you want to take that one? Because I think it's the false quoting of you that's...
The false quoting of you. How about the quote? You released devastating information that would destroy Hillary, that the indictments were followed. Where is it? Those are real quotes by you. Pull up his quotes where he said, she will be indicted. It will be destroy her. Oh, my God. Pull up his quotes. This will get Hillary indicted. The indictments were followed.
WikiLeaks tweets.
A lot of misquoting of me and WikiLeaks publications. In this particular case, the misquoting has to do with that we intend to harm Hillary Clinton, or that I intend to harm Hillary.
No, he never said that. You said he was going to get her indicted. Indictment. Where is the evidence? 34 days.
They come about as a result.
Wednesday, Hillary Clinton is done. Reports Julian Assange announcements on Tuesday. We'll finish it.
His campaign and defenders.
You just Google where he said the indictments will follow.
Personalize our publications.
There's something about liberals. I looked at like, do you realize how smart I am? Do you realize that I am related to Bickles from Dickles?
Do they? Interesting features.
But he can't do it in Atlantic accents. It's more like a
U.S. Power faction.
Well, I do understand, Patrick.
Yes, they do.
We've done the measurements, and this just isn't the proper time for the document release.
We don't release things at 3 a.m.
Don't you know?
But they will be released by the end of the year when it doesn't matter.
Have you seen my new haircut?
This is teleprompter free, folks. Who would have known it would have ended like this?
Look at this. You can't even hear their questions. You can't even hear the questions.
Here we go. Here, let's hear this. Let's give them 10 minutes. Let them talk. Let them talk. Let them talk.
You seem to have referenced that Ecuador or the Ecuadorian people have been threatened because of the decision to give you asylum. Is that what you said, stroke meant, and can you elaborate any more?
I didn't say threatened. I said that there's significant pressure. It is, if you read the Ecuadorian press, you can see some of that in play in relation to other forms of pressure and developments in the United Kingdom, the United States, in response to our upcoming publications and the DNC leaks. Well, we have a lot of sources, and those sources are in U.S. politics, intelligence organizations, and their equivalents in the United Kingdom. And so we know when there are developments afoot, and we're aware of them, and we will understand them and react accordingly.
Yes?
So far during this election cycle, you focused on leaks from the DNC. Can you specify if upcoming releases, including before the election, would also affect the Republicans? Can you go that far?
That was trying to get into content of upcoming releases, re the elections. Will it also cover Republicans? I mean, we generally don't go into sort of content of releases for quite specific reasons, in that part of bringing the impact and also ensuring or trying to minimize the ability to get up a spin before we've actually gone live is one of the reasons why we keep the releases so confidential. So there are good reasons for it. I don't know if you want to elaborate any more, Julian, though, on the Republican Democrat spin that people have tried to.
There's a lot of fascinating angles there, unexpected.
All right, that's enough. We may go back to the feed in a moment, but I'm going to let the crew get home and get some sleep here.
You can't hear what we're saying.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're not losers because we got trolled by Julian Assange. He's done some good work in the past. We know he's under a lot of pressure, being threatened. But I can tell you, he keeps promising this damning, totally destructive evidence, and then he doesn't release us now 34 days out. And now he's saying he'll release it before the end of the year. So that smacks of a sellout. They're claiming they're going to release documents every few days until the election. But I know they tweeted out and said damning evidence, decisive information, that Hillary Clinton was done. I mean, this is what they were saying. It's what they said through intermediaries, what they said to our sources. And then he makes this little joke and smiles. I don't tell you this type of stuff at 3 a.m. Well, it's 5:30 a.m., bro, Eastern time. 4:30 as we speak exactly. Central time. So here's the good news. We have all the real whistleblowers. We have the documents. We have the Danny Williamses. We have them all coming on. And so WikiLeaks said they will publish enough evidence to indict Hillary Clinton. That was back in June 13th. So we just keep hearing this. I think he's probably out of documents. He's doing all this in the election to get more folks to give documents. And when the DNC guy gave him documents, he got shot in the back 4 times. So I think they're doing important work, but when you don't have the documents or you don't have more, you don't sit there and troll people for the 10th anniversary to make yourself look big and have a bunch of weird, lazy liberals going, I'm not actually with WikiLeaks, you know, combing their hair to make sure it looks like it's sticking up. How do I look like I don't care? I just got out of bed. Here, I'm liberal. You know, give us a break, man. And so that's what this comes down to. I can't do like a true liberal and act like I'm messing up my hair without doing it. I mean, we're tired of it. We're done. But WikiLeaks has done a lot of great work in their past, so I still give them an A+. But we're teleprompter free. We're going to be honest about what we see and what happens. This was a huge buildup. The media will make a big victory out of this. Oh, it was supposed to be this big release, and he didn't give anything out. It's all crap. So thanks a lot, Assange. Really, thanks for nothing. Mr. Schroyer?
I'm still trying to figure out what we just witnessed here. A complete
You witnessed hammered shit.
A complete 2-bit hack job. They can't even get quality audio. They can't get quality video. They can't coordinate enough.
And, and by the way, those of you, I loved how, I know I was going to give you hardcore info and said I would, but I'm sorry, now's not the time. And it was like, and by the way, if you expect me at 3 a.m. to give anything, you're dumb. That was the tell.
But buy my book.
These sociopaths and people, they always got to stab you in the back, like, and just say, oh, I didn't imply this was happening. I didn't set you up. No. By the way, if you thought you get it at 3 a.m., you were wrong. He's really hurt himself. I mean, let me tell you, I know how the web works, how the world works. You have really done it, buddy boy.
Well,
you better release it all within 12 hours or you're done.
We've been wiki-rolled. That's what they're saying on Twitter.
Wiki-rolled?
We've been wiki-rolled.
Wiki-rolled. Instead of
who bought them TVs, bitch? Tell me that. Move, bitch. Get out the way. Get out the way, bitch. Get out the way. Move, bitch. Get out the way. I mean, you get out the way, man.
Well, and that's what I'm saying.
You think you bitched us? You think you rolled us? Yeah, you ain't seen nothing yet, Assange.
I thought we were in an info war. I don't know what these guys were doing up here.
I'm rolling Hillary. I'm the dark heart. We ain't backing down. Just because you're a fake chump, don't think we are.
That was soft.
Get ready.
That was soft.
I'll double down because of this. I won't be associated with you.
Now we have to
Who bought the TVs, bitch? Tell me that.
We have to make
up in front of my tour bus.
We have to make up for the lack of energy that came out of this production, whatever this crap was. They're sitting around a coffee table. Are you kidding me? You can't even get a quality production? You're trying to change the world?
Who bought them TVs, bitch? Tell me that.
Jeez.
Move, bitch. Get out the way. Get
He's
out
still
the way,
on.
bitch. I said that to Hillary. That's
He's
the
still
theme
on
song.
flapping
Get
his
out the way,
gums.
bitch. Get out the way. I'm sorry. It is 4:33 in the morning. I can act like this now.
I actually like when you sing Ludacris at 4:30 in the
I'm
morning.
so depressed. I have to play Carl the Cut.
There it is. That's Carl the Cut.
That's you. Your famous moment.
Hey.
Back it up. Back up to the beginning. Back up to the beginning. Owen Schroyer's here with us.
Hold on a second, though.
The good old white days are over with. Ain't no more
Oh, this guy.
bro. It's over. That's the good old.
He got his ass kicked, actually.
Started to fight.
I'm racist. That's not racist. I'm racist. Hell no, that's not racist.
You started to fight?
You've never experienced
Yeah, he got taken pretty
This is not low energy right here.
You low energy at 4:33.
There he is. Look at that haircut, though. Julian Assange. Can we get Julian Assange next to that haircut?
That is the brother of Rachel Maddow. Ron Maddow reporting. Ron Berger.
Yeah, there it is. Hey.
You're an effing white male, Assange.
We got him. Call the cut.
Mass abortion. This would be. You're a white male. White male.
Huckstead. There it is.
It's okay. Hey, let's trying to steal the election from Trump. I don't blame Assange. He's getting death threats. He's locked up in the embassy. They're trying to kill him. There's drone strike. You know.
Well, our problem was
I want to believe in
presentation
him.
of it. That was our problem.
Oh, here we go. Key.
Joe to Geneva.
Hey, Joe, how you doing? I'm Jack Strickland. The question I don't see being addressed is the abundance of references in her emails about AIDS, Skrillex.
You're a white man.
That call was from Texas.
You're a white man.
Look at this guy.
Sorry about that. We're going to go ahead and move on.
I'm Jack Strickland. I love that. I'm Jack Strickland. The truth is, we don't take ourselves seriously because they don't. We don't care. You understand? We're done. We're telling the truth. We're going where the truth leads us. No teleprompters. We all were outraged by this tonight, so we just went with it. There was no calculation but the truth, right?
Like I said, we're just sitting in the studio reacting to what we're seeing. Or not hearing or hearing, whatever you want to say. I mean, they build up this whole
he already told us. The leak is how Google...
Like, what did I even want?
The leak we already know. Google's gaming the election from Hillary. They admit they are. So is Facebook and Twitter. Hillary and the Democrats are directing the media. We already knew that from our sources. Nothing we didn't know. We predicted it. And that Hillary is funding ISIS and Al-Qaeda. InfoWars. I'm not bragging. We're not up here all foppishly, bragging all day. We had all the Colonel Schaefer, the former head of Black Ops, Steve Pachenik. We had one of the pilots that witnessed it, Tosh Plumley. We exposed 4 years ago everything that happened in Benghazi. We don't need wiki turds. The point is, I'm hoping for them, but the way they keep this false hope out and now chump us at the last minute smells of Hillary Clinton's dirty underwear. So Assange promises leaks on Google and U.S. elections as WikiLeaks celebrates 10 years. This is put out by CNET. In coming weeks, they're tweeting this. Assange promises leaks related to war. He already did that months ago. No more, Assange. Arms, Google, and mass surveillance. He also promises all documents related to the U.S. presidential election will be published before the vote, November 8th. He had probably made up stuff against Trump. So I don't trust him. I'm just going to tell you, I always had my questions. I was selective on Bush. Not that I like Bush. He got better on Obama, and so he got me sold when he was saying, she's a demon. She wants to go off the free press. It's true. And they did some good stuff. You know what? I'll give them a B+. But I was expecting a devastating coup de grace. And we did not see the death blow dealt here. Let's hear some more from him bumbling about from his Ecuadorian embassy with his thumbs, where. Here we go to Assange.
That's an attachment. You can't be infected by reading our website.
Sounds like a frog with no voice.
It's not even Assange. It's a television.
And then
let's go back to the TV.
And ignore the warnings, etc. just like downloading any.
You said global warming?
Information on any website.
I think the global warming.
All right. Anybody else want to chime in before I put a bookend on this? Because I'm gonna punch out. Well, let's hear the next question. Oh, the next question of the Lord and Savior Julian Assange.
Yep.
I just wanted to ask a little bit more about the changes that you signaled in the way that WikiLeaks is structured, and if you can just go...
Yeah, where are the questions about where's the data dump, buddy? Where is it? You got us all here.
What are you doing? What was the point of this?
Why is he followed by a cult of women, like Hillary?
So the changes in structure, the lady was asking a question about the changes in structure
Yeah,
you were
we're run by
talking
the
about.
UN now.
I don't know if they were... You would describe them as changes in structure or just sort of increase.
Well, they know in the internet age, they've got to set how leaks are handled. This is all part of that parameter. People tell me it's a deep intel operation. I'm not sure about that.
Time scale is on these.
I think they get their audio straight if they were.
You would think.
More organizational changes rather than just publications.
Well, I mean, some of these things are immediate, as I said.
Well, let me just review this. This, I think, their past work, it's a total score for WikiLeaks. I'd give them a B+. Tonight, I'd give them a F-. I mean, this was a cluster, you know what, train wreck, bad audio, no info. Oh, I'm sorry if you thought there was some big thing tonight, but it's not because it's 3 a.m. What the hell?
So buy a book.
So, by the way, here's my book and here's my DVD. Folks aren't going to buy your book and your DVD. They're going to go to InfoWarsStore.com because they want to see live coverage of the debate tonight coming up with our crew. InfoWars.com/show. They want to hear real analysis. They want to hear real leakers and not a bunch of, building it up. Notice I go on air. I'll say next hour I'm going to cover this big story. And then I can't help it. I cover it right then because I care about the info. We don't actually hype our info most of the time. We should. I'm bad at that. But, I mean, it's the way they just hype it, and then nothing happens. You realize how much Tim Kaine looks like Ron Paul in that shot? I love Ron Paul.
Yeah, it kind of looks like a little bit of Ron Paul.
Anyways.
Ron Paul would never wear that hat, though.
No, I love Ron Paul. We should get him back on the show. We haven't done that in a while. I'm sorry. Julian Assange is behind me.
Still just, I just don't understand why they built this up, and then they had the 2-bit production, and then, really, just to sell us a book?
I want to say it's Miller time, but you don't do that at 5 a.m.
Good, jeez.
I mean, dude.
There's a question.
Named a Twinkie 100 feet long. It's not even a Twinkie I can see with an electron microscope. That's not a big Twinkie.
I don't even think there was a Twinkie.
I don't think there was a Twinkie. Did you guys see a Twinkie here? Was there anything delicious here?
It was Twinkie-less.
No Twinkie. Hey, but you know what, though? We got a... we got a running order for the. We got a running order. We got the 10 years, 1 million documents. We got we got devastating info on Hillary tonight. Buy my book. You can't hear me. You can't hear the questions in the crowd. I don't know what's going on. I'm Julian Assange, and I got called the cuck haircut.
And you got InfoWars waiting at 5 a.m. here. Well, you know what? Come up at 11 a.m. Central. I'm on the air. We're going to take phones about this atrocity.
I don't know. I mean, everybody, honestly. The info warriors, the people on Twitter, people that follow, everybody here at InfoWars all day long on social media were building this up. They were expecting something big. Obviously, we expected something. We came in here at the wee hours of the morning, and Julian Assange just went live and basically took a big dump on air for about 2 hours. Look, he's still going. It's a record for the longest dump. I'll give him that.
Look, he's the knowledgeable father.
Not a data dump, though.
Look at the knowledgeable. You send him all the data. He decides what you get. Oh.
Sorry, it's just very funny. Do you feel any affinity with Donald Trump? This is
what's funny, dude? Come on, dude. You're getting tweets.
This accusation.
False or real Alex Jones.
I'm going to bring this into you. Hold on.
Bring it to me. Real Alex Jones. False on Twitter.
Accusation people try to make. And so the question was in the context.
Owen Schroyer. How do folks follow you on Twitter?
All I do is Owen. J. Owen Schroyer.
What do we got?
You can see me and Alex in a Liberty camp. What do you got there?
Oh, there's a new photo of Julian Assange released. Who sent this to us?
It came in through Twitter.
Let's get a document cam shot on this. Can we get a document cam on this?
Fluid.
That was the question, yeah.
No, it's an interesting question.
That is literally meme magic.
There he is.
Oh, there's a new meme for this guy. Trolling the patriots of the internet.
Yeah, his shirt should
not
say,
a good move.
His shirt should say troll. It should say troll or poop. That's fine. But I think troll, he's
troll.
He's already got.
I mean, he thinks he's trolling us. Get ready.
Oh my gosh.
A kind of human sympathy.
They've gotten to him because they were saying, "Oh, you work for Trump." And he's like, "Oh yeah, watch this jumping." Hey, doesn't matter. We're gonna expose Clinton. She's way behind.
You know what?
Nobody's showing up at her rallies. Nobody's showing up at her events. They're desperate. They're trying to say he's losing. It's all this perception game. They're losing.
And they've polarized this election so much to the point where now people just ask him, "Ooh, do you have an affinity with Donald Trump?" Why can't he just expose a lying politician? Why can't he just expose a war?
That's why he's saying he's going to release
psychopath.
it. He said after the election, he goes, by the year end. That's what he's done. He sold out to Hillary. That's my gut. That's what I think. And I think that's it for this transmission.
I mean, is it time to just start preparing for them to steal the election? I mean,
yeah, but to fight the steal. Oh, absolutely. But let me just say this, ladies and gentlemen. Let me just break this down for TV viewers in closing. InfoWars will not sell out like Assange ever because we can't. It's our guts, our blood, it's who we are. We will fight with this republic till the end. If Trump goes sideways, we'll expose him. We can't help it. And we are listener supported. To get this crew up here in the middle of the night, to have them ready to work tomorrow and tomorrow night for the news and the coverage of the debate, we need to get 5 or 6 more editors and switchers and crew members so we can actually be able to work harder in this fight. Things are just going to get crazy after the election. Please buy the Hillary for Prison shirts, the Bill Clinton rape shirts. Please get the non-GMO heirloom seeds, the great nutraceuticals and supplements at InfoWarsLife.com. That's InfoWarsLife.com or InfoWarsStore.com is the umbrella site, or call toll-free 888-253-3139. There's thousands of items on the website, and it's a great modern shopping cart, great reviews, third-party sites, whether it's non-GMO heirloom seeds or the InfoWars solar base station. There's 33% off right now. It's the control unit, the modern high-quality solar panels. You name it. Again, even third-party sites give us awards saying we have the very best products. A lot of specials going. The free app, Infowars.com/app. It has video feeds, audio feeds, breaking news text feeds. We're about to add more in the next month or so. Options to Infowars.com/app on the Droid store and on the App Store, whether it's Apple or Droid. It's absolutely free. InfoWars Live is the name of the app. It's already October 1st, just 34 days to the election. We're going to be burning the midnight oil, working 7 days a week. We appreciate you, the listeners. We honor you. You honor us. We would never troll you. I used to do a little bit of satire and fun. I don't even do that anymore because things are so serious. I know this is a family show. Thanks for putting up with us. We get a little bit risque at 4 a.m., 5 a.m., but it's 4:45 Central. Anybody else wants to add anything? But I'm ready to punch out and leave Julian Assange lecturing a bunch of libtards in Germany about whatever he's up to.
Well, these are the times. The fire purifies those who are on our side and those who are willing to sell out. I think that, this is, in these great times, these are the opportunities we have to see. You may not be perfect, but if you're trying to fight for liberty, if you're trying to fight for truth, not for trolling like Assange tonight, then we can see we can see your soul. We can see your spirit. And I think right now, Julian Assange has, at least tonight, come out as a weak soul.
He doesn't know who brought him to the table.
He's done great work, like you said. We don't want to demonize
but I mean, when he chumped everybody, he chumped us. I mean, when he was just like, and those of you that thought you get some big thing, we don't do this at 3 a.m. It'll come up by the end of the year. He told us everything. So that was the message to Hillary and them, too. Don't worry, the deal's done, end of the year.
He didn't even care enough to have a quality production. I mean,
well, he knows that, he's trying to make a deal, which is fine. The people that leaked the info to him that went to prison, the people that did the guy that got shot 4 times in the back, those are the heroes. Assange has a lot of courage, too. But he's scared. He's definitely choked. But the real heroes, the folks getting shot in the back, the people in prison like Chelsea Manning, they're the heroes.
I just want to read a few of these tweets. We got a wiki choke, came from Bill. A WikiLeaks data dump was a cluster cuck. That was from Troy D. I can't believe this. Now I have to get ready for work. Great work. Thanks for coming in. We all got played. That was from Christopher.
But we're in the arena. Sometimes we stumble. Sometimes we fall. Sometimes we get chumped. But we learn from it. We get stronger. We're in the arena. That which does not kill you only makes you stronger. I don't feel bad. I feel good. I was here to get the big data dump and have the big, angle on this and everything. Didn't happen. Doesn't matter. I learned more. I'm stronger.
And look at these guys. They're up here smiling, laughing. All right, are we fighting a war worldwide for freedom here? Are we fighting a war for truth like your shirt says?
No, it's all about them to just feel important and all worship Assange.
Yeah, are you trying to expose Hillary or not, Assange? What are you doing?
Somebody said Assange's shirt should read cover up, not truth. And then somebody sent a picture and it just said instead of truth.
Oh, he's going to get torn up now.
And I guess that does kind of go to show you.
Now, some people are speculating that he's being held hostage right now, and that's why he's on a green screen. But he's done green screen stuff before, so
he does it all the time.
Yeah,
and it's always New York Times, London Guardian who twisted. Right. He wants to be part of the system. Real liberal. So intellectual.
You think Julian Assange wants to come on the show?
We've invited him. I mean, one time, something Jones Dottier, or the leader of the Icelandic movement for liberty, was on, and they're in like a bedroom, and it's like Assange like going by, and he's like, and everybody's like, "Hello, Alex. Yes, I will come on soon." And that was it. Like, look, getting big guests like Assange doesn't really do that much. It's always about them. There's no info. You know, it's like Rand Paul. He used to go, Rand Paul wants to come on. I'm like, okay. Nothing happened when Rand Paul came on. I'm not against Rand Paul, but it's like, Rand Paul's ready to come on. I'm like, okay. Or, you know, it's like, my listeners want to hear news covered and phone calls and cover, you know, video clips, not, oh my God, Assange is on. I thought he had this big data dump. Now he's destroyed himself.
Yeah, Assange, if you want to sell some books, here's a little advice.
Come on, give us the data and then say, it's hard to pay for all this. We're under attack. We need your support. Instead, he didn't care enough to have audio that could be heard.
Or a quality video. I mean, you're telling me, and he's built this up. This isn't like he just threw this together overnight. They've been planning this. This is something they had to plan. This.
Yeah, we just decided today on air. I said, we're going live tonight. We're here. It all went off great. Great job, crew. And by the way, this crew deserves bonuses. Some of them aren't paid that well because we don't make that much money around here. Buy a bunch of products, InfoWarsStore.com. Buy them. You need them. They're all great for preparing us, whether it's storable food or non-GMO seeds or T-shirts or books or videos or, you know, whatever the case is. You need our probiotic. You need our X2. You need our Super Male Vitality. Good God, just get a bottle and see what I'm talking about. Anthroplex, you name it. Because this crew is amazing. Hey, here's to the audience, and here's the InfoWars crew. Let's end this with your Obamacare video showing what a giant fraud this is. Because with these psychopaths and control freaks, their religion is chumping people, keeping them dumb, and manipulating them.
Just like this.
Their religion is getting it over. My religion is showing people all the tricks, empowering them. We go to the stars together. My religion is Renaissance, and I would never get off on holding something over you or manipulating you or not giving you the best deal or not giving you the best info. I mean, if my whole life was such a person that loved everybody, wanted to stand up, wanted to be strong, but I learned bullies wanted the image of being strong. They wanted to pick on the guy that wouldn't actually fight back. As soon as you were hammering their head in the concrete and blood was coming out of their ears, they begged for mommy.
Well, and that's what
that's what they always learn. They want the symbol of power, not the actual thing.
That's what
comes with power.
That's what I kind of realized being in liberal Austin. I really feel like the social justice warriors are really just
selfish empty pieces of trash.
That's all it is. So they just join this groupthink mentality. They think they're part of the winning team.
And they think if they even pay a tip or buy dinner, they've been cucked. So they don't get being a leader. So they're just all about me, and I'm the most liberal. I'm the best. I have all the answers.
But I want to thank the audience because if it wasn't for them buying the InfoWars products, I wouldn't have been able to be hired here. So I thank the audience that goes on and buys the products. And you know what? I still am an InfoWars store user. I use all the products. They're great. They're great products.
Well, that's how we finance all this. And you're the folks making the world go around. Do we have that queued up, your piece? I think it was something like, Alex Jones is wrong, Obamacare is great. What's the name of the video?
Yeah, you know, monopolies are great in capitalist.
And now it's bankrupting everything. It's a giant screw job, and it gets worse and worse by the minute. I thought we'd end the transmission. A great job to the crew. Like I said,
from one screw job to another? Is that what you're talking about?
Is it like 7 minutes long? I can't hear you. You don't have your mic on.
Oh, yes. It's definitely long.
How long?
7:58 with the ad. I think I have 2 ads at the end of it.
No, it was like 9.5 minutes with the ads.
Yeah, no, this is it. So Alex Jones is wrong.
Okay, well, that's it. Listen, I'm going to plan this now.
Oh, yeah, we cut the ads out.
The TV crew goes home, and then you guys come in at like 2 or 3 and do the nightly news and the debate. The radio crew can come in at 10 a.m., and then you guys can leave at 3 when we're off, okay?
And, Alex, I just want to say we're going to go live at 7 and take calls before and after the debate to get a lot more caller participation in, because it always seems like we have way more callers than we have time, so we're going to do it before and after.
That's the VP debate.
The VP debate.
They'll probably just turn the mic completely off for...
I'm making fun of Julian Assange.
Trump Scott, what do you think?
Hold on, I'm Julian Assange.
How will they rig this? Maybe interrupt the Indiana governor 100 times and not interrupt Kane?
I don't know. It'll be interesting to see if people are even tuned into this. I guess after this dud, more people might be interested in watching the vice presidential debate.
Yeah, this has been a dud. But hey, we showed up. We got on the field. We took action.
And we'll be back tomorrow.
The viewers win. 11 a.m. with the regular show. InfoWars.com/show. Spread that link. I want to thank Right Side News for helping us with a backup feed, which we ended up needing when our other feed went down. RSBN.TV, Right Side Broadcasting Network.tv. Support them. They're totally listener and donated.
We got audio.
A donation supporter. So we do have audio now. Let's play this Obamacare piece, and then that will end the hour. And that was us giving you 3 hours of coverage here of Julian Assange. We're not going to listen to the rest of it. We won't be listening to Julian Assange much. He showed us that he made some kind of deal. This is a sellout. I mean, I can't definitively prove it, but it smells of it and of a chumping and an absolute trolling. So, hey, that's great. We'll continue to fight on for the Republic. Brexit won. The Russians are pulling out of the New World Order. We are, too. It's all part of the animating contest of liberty. We can't lose if we take action because resistance is victory.
Obamacare is great.
Oh, yeah.
And it's really working. Oh, yeah. Sign up now. You'll be able to keep your health care plan. If you like your plan, you keep your plan. If you like your doctor, you like your plan, you can keep your doctor, you can keep your plan.
The things I'm the most proud of were the more serious speeches. I think healthcare, economic speeches, and I think
Lovett wrote the line about if you like your insurance, you can keep it.
If you like your current insurance, you keep that insurance.
Huge impact. And you know what? It's still true. No. Yeah.
People who knew the law as it was being written knew the president wasn't telling the truth. And frankly, they wrote a regulation intentionally trying to get people out of the individual market. Look, they want the people to go into the exchanges. The whole point of the exchanges is to close down the individual insurance market over time.
Insurance companies don't like the individual market as it's constructed. They see the future. That individual market is going away. They don't want to invest in it.
Third largest health insurance company in the United States is pulling its plans from 70% of the Obamacare insurance exchanges it participates in. Aetna saying it will only list its plans in Delaware, Iowa, Nebraska, and Virginia next year.
Joining us is Zeke Emanuel. He is one of the architects of Obamacare, and every time he joins us, he smiles. I've seen you so many times smile your way through this failure. I am insisting on having my say. 17 states have one
Well, then you don't need me. You don't need me in the studio. If you want your stay, you don't need me in the studio. If you want me to answer your charge,
but I'm waiting for the apology, which I'm not going to get. So tell me, how do you explain there are 5 states with one health care coverage, and there are 17 states with this 1 or 2? That's accurate, isn't it?
Let me explain something. First of all,
We will start by reducing premiums by as much as $2,500 per family. I also have a health care plan that would save the average family $2,500 on their premiums.
And if you already have health care, then we're going to reduce costs an average of $2,500 per family on premiums.
Huge impact. And you know what? It's still true. No. Yeah.
What's the White House saying about the huge increases in premium costs for consumers?
We got sacked really hard. We couldn't afford health insurance. Tried to get on Obamacare, couldn't afford it. So we got a huge penalty this year yeah, I'm ready for a change.
A recent survey of 148 insurance brokers shows Obamacare sending premiums rising at a faster clip than in recent memory.
I got my fine just like her in the taxes.
Yeah.
With Obamacare and the Affordable Care Act, it's skyrocketed the price of health care, and it's made care so much harder to find.
I fractured 2 discs in my back in the military, and the VA insurance coverage that I have from that is not even enough to satisfy the IRS insurance mandates. So I got to pay a fine for that. And I've seen it with my parents, too. Their insurance has gone down a lot. My dad, he's paying over $300 a month now for heart medication. That used to be like his yearly total for his copay. Their deductibles have gone up. I don't know, anyone who's saved money with Obamacare.
$100 out of each check, and then $500 penalties, and then it goes up from there. Upwards of $5,000 a year. They'll just take it out of your account. And then it gets rid of a lot of the charity care that was already there, lets the insurance companies lower the standard of care. And the Supreme Court ruled and said, yes, it's a tax, and the IRS will enforce it.
And the fight is over Obamacare. Drudge taking to Twitter to make that announcement. Just paid the Obamacare penalty for not getting covered. I'm calling it a liberty tax. But a White House representative firing back, tweeting, flat lie, no fee for previous years. Scary how much influence he once had.
As you know, the individual mandate in the bill contains a tax penalty for anyone who does not purchase health insurance. Let me now read to you from the bill how that penalty is enforced. 1. In general, the penalty provided by this section shall be paid upon notice and demand by the Secretary, and except as provided in paragraph 2, shall be assessed and collected in the same manner as an assessable penalty under subchapter B of Chapter 68.
Now, new data from the IRS reveals that in 2014, over 8 million Americans paid a staggering $1.7 billion in Obamacare penalties. And we know that that number is expected to be even higher, much higher in 2015, 2016, and beyond.
Professor Gruber, what did you mean when you said they proposed it and that passed because the American people are too stupid to understand the difference?
When I said that, I was at an academic conference being glib and quite frankly trying to make myself seem smart by insulting others.
Are you offering the venue as a defense for saying it or for meaning it? What did you mean when you said it was a very basic exploitation of the lack of economic understanding of the American voter? What do you mean by that?
Once again, it's another example of my inexcusable arrogance in trying to insult others to make myself seem smarter.
What did you mean when you said you wish that you had been able to be transparent, but you'd rather have the law than not?
Lack of transparency is a huge political advantage. And basically, call it the stupidity of the American voter or whatever. But basically, that was really, really critical to getting the thing to pass. And, it's the second best argument. Look, I wish Mark was right. We can make it all transparent, but I'd rather have this law than not.
Welcome to the State Department. I think we have some interns in the back. Welcome. Good to see you in this exercise in transparency and democracy.
Is that what it is? 35 million people or more, I haven't checked in a year or so, have gone from full-time employment to part-time under Obamacare and then lost any benefits they had. And by the way, employers want to pay people more. They want to find the really good employees. They want you to then be taken care of and want to stay there and then help find other people. So once you get kicked out of full-time, you're never even seen as somebody that works there. So now upward mobility has been 35 million people like that went to part-time. You didn't get Obamacare. The prices of health care have more than doubled. That's on average. It's gone up even more for a lot of people. And there's penalties. And they sit up there and they look at you and they go, it's a lie. The same guy that thinks there's giant wasp under the UN building, Alex Jones, says that you can't keep your doctor and that there's death panels.
Waging war on corruption. It's Alex Jones coming to you live from the front lines of the InfoWar.
I am very proud to announce the introduction of the highest quality InfoWars Biome Defense Probiotic. We wanted to come out with the largest spectrum of high quality known probiotics that have been proven to improve overall digestion and health and detoxification in the body. Biome Defense is an exclusive blend of 50 billion live and active cultures from over 23 different